EETV on Channel 6. I'm joined by two groups from student media in Weagle and The Circle. My name's Hayden Desmond. You're watching Auburn Feud. Give me Bryn, give me Cecilia. Let's play the feud. Woo! All right, whoever taps first on my podium is going to get to answer. All right, here's the question. What's the most important thing in your backpack?
My Tiger card.
Tiger card is up there. It is the number 5 answer, which means that you have a chance to get a higher one. What's the most important thing in your backpack?
Computer.
Computer number 1. We're going to Weagle for this one. We're going to Weagle.
We want to play. Let's do it.
Are you ready?
Yes.
All right, tell me your name. A little bit about you.
JP Williams. I'm from Mobile, Alabama, and I'm a marketing major.
Okay, JP, what's the most important thing in your backpack?
My binder.
Show me binder. Binder is not on there. I'm sorry. That's strike 1.
Good answer.
All right, tell me your name and a little bit about you.
My name's Jake. I'm from Mobile, Alabama, and a mechanical engineer.
All right, Jake, what's the most important thing in your backpack?
That's going to be my calculator.
Calculator. Is calculator on the board? Calculator is on the board at number 4 with 4. All right, tell me your name and a little bit about you. Don't fall over.
Yeah. My name's Grayson. I'm a comp sci major, and I'm from Hoover, Alabama.
All right, Grayson, tell me what's the most important thing in your backpack?
I'm going to say water bottle.
Water bottle. Do I have a water bottle? I do not have a water bottle. That is strike 2. All right, tell me your name and a little bit about you.
I'm Breland. I'm a PR major, and my most important item is a planner.
Ooh, a planner. That's a good one. Is that up there? It's not up there. That is strike 3.
More important than what we just said.
All right, The Circle. You guys have a chance to steal. So what is the most important thing in your backpack?
A pencil.
A pencil. Do I have a pencil? We have a pencil. Now there's 2 answers that were left on the board. The answer number 3 was phone charger with 6, and the 6th and final answer was umbrella with 4. It was raining today. Could have used an umbrella today. After one round, The Circle is in the lead with 90 points, and Weagle is still yet to be on the board.
There was an old woman who lived in a shoe. She had so many children, she didn't know what to do. She gave them some broth without any bread and kissed them all soundly.
Lights out.
Good night. And put them to bed. Hunger is a story we can end. End it at feedingamerica.org.
I was living in a shelter juggling 3 jobs. I had to be resilient. That's something that you can't teach.
You can achieve a lot using your imagination. I mean, I don't like to brag, but... Wait, who's that? And why is she all over these achievement awards? But with STEM, the sky's the limit. Shaboom! Use STEM to envision... Okay, I'm seeing it. Yeah! Invent...
Got any ideas?
I've got a few, actually. And create a better world. Told you she's super smart. If she can STEM, so can you. Find out more at She Can STEM.
Welcome back to round 2 of the feud. Give me JP, give me Chloe. Let's play the feud. Hands down, sir. Thank you. All right, guys. What is a student's favorite Auburn tradition? JP.
Call-outs.
Do I have call-outs? I don't have call-outs. I'm sorry. All right, Circle.
Getting Tumors lemonade.
Tumors Lemonade is also not on there, so what we're going to do is we're going to go to the next member on the Weagle table. So, what is a student's favorite Auburn tradition?
Rolling the trees.
Rolling the trees. Do I have rolling the trees? I have rolling the trees. Number 1 answer. Looks like they're going to play.
We like that.
You go back to me or Grace?
How was it not?
We're going right here. We're going to Grayson. Grayson, what is a student's favorite Auburn tradition?
Stepping on the seal.
Do I have stepping on the seal? Unfortunately, I don't have stepping on the seal. All right. What is a student's favorite Auburn tradition?
The eagle flying.
Eagle flight. Eagle flight number 2. right, you guys have 1 strike, so you got a little room to work with. What is a student's favorite Auburn tradition?
I'm going to say meeting Obby.
Meeting Obby. I do not have meeting Obby. That is the 2nd strike for you guys. JP, you got to be careful. What is a student's favorite Auburn tradition?
Heyday.
Heyday. Is Heyday up there? Heyday's up there at number 5. Good answer. Good answer. Jake.
Be careful.
1 strike. Don't be nervous. What is a student's
That's too late.
favorite Auburn tradition?
Game day.
Ooh.
Game day? Game day is not on there, and that is y'all's 3rd strike. So I am going to walk over, and we're going to see if the circle has a chance to steal. So, circle. What is a student's favorite?
with me again?
Yes.
Oh, cool.
For the
Okay.
steals, I'm going to come to you, if that's okay.
That is fine.
Okay.
That's fine.
What is a student's favorite Auburn tradition?
Singing the alma mater after the game.
Singing the alma mater after the game. I do not have singing the alma mater after the game. Those points will go to Weagle. Number 3, we have football. Number 4, we have the swag surf. And number 6, we have saying War Eagle. All right, at the end of round 2, Weagle has pulled with a little bit of a lead at 92, and the circle sits at 90. So stay right here. We're going to come back for round 3.
Your girls have been with you through every moment of your life. They were with you when you felt unbreakable, and with you when you had your heart broken. They were with you when you shared your love with the world, and with you when she became your world. They're still with you right now. But how well do you know them?
So there you are, shuffling through a stack of resumes, and you come to mine. This is it, first impression, my way in. But can my resume show you how I truly stand out? Like that I was studying, going to night school while working 2 jobs just to help my parents pay for groceries. Or being the first one to always step up. No, that's something you just can't put on paper. Look beyond the resume and discover new ways to develop great talent that is dedicated, hardworking, and determined like me.
If I could go back and change it all, I would. I think I'm gonna miss you the most. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Or maybe it's just the little moments. If I could go back and change it all, if I could go back, I would. But I can't.
Welcome back to Auburn Feud on Eagle Eye TV. We are in round 3. Weagle holds a 2-point advantage over the circle. Give me Jake, give me Greer. Let's play the feud. All right, guys. It's close. Name a dorm room dinner.
Ramen noodles.
Ramen noodles. Number 2. Ramen noodles, number 2 on the board with 34. You guys have 1 chance to get a better answer than that. Name a dorm room dinner.
Soup.
Show me soup. Number 5. You tried. Circle's gonna play.
Circle's gonna play.
All right, so this is my first time over here, so I'm gonna ask everybody to introduce themselves. So tell me your name and a little bit about yourself.
I'm Daria. I'm a finance major, and the best dorm room meal I can think of is pizza rolls.
Pizza rolls. Show me pizza rolls. Pizza rolls are not on the board.
That's okay. That's okay.
So sorry. Pizza rolls are not on the board. That is strike 1. Hey man, tell me your name and a little bit about yourself.
My name's Hunter. I am a studio art major. I'm from Mobile.
Okay.
So turn up.
Name a dorm room dinner.
Frozen pizza.
Frozen pizza. Number 3, frozen pizza. Back to the top, Cecilia. Tell me a little bit about yourself.
I'm Cecilia, and I'm Auburn Student Media's biggest fan.
Okay.
And I would say that a good dorm room dinner is a peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
Show me PB&J. PB&J up there at number 4. All right, Chloe, tell me a little bit about yourself.
Hey, my name is Chloe. I'm the managing editor of The Circle, and I'm actually Auburn Student Media's 2nd biggest fan. So
let's go.
Chloe, name a dorm room dinner.
I think a pretty good dorm room dinner. I'm stumped. Can I phone a friend?
We do not have phone a friend available. I'll give you 5 seconds.
That's so unfortunate. Okay. Chick-fil-A from the Student Center.
Chick-fil-A from the Student Center is not on the board. I'm so sorry. Greer, I'm back at you again. Give me another dorm room dinner.
My favorite dorm room dinner was mac and cheese.
Show me mac and cheese. Mac and cheese, number 1 answer. All right. Final answer.
Studying.
Studying is not up there for dorm room dinner. I'm so sorry.
Good answer. You got it.
Strike 3. I'm sorry, the circle. We're going to go right over here to Weagle to see if they have a chance to steal. All right, Weagle.
All right.
One answer left. Name me a dorm room dinner.
We're gonna go with popcorn.
Popcorn. Popcorn is not up there. Auburn Circle is going to take those points. The last answer was frozen meals. All right, so our totals as of right now after 3 rounds. The Auburn Circle 188, Weagle 92. Now don't be worried, we still have another round to go. Keep it right here on Eagle Eye TV. When we get back, we're going to play more Feud.
My parents weren't fluent in English, so in school, I had to be independent and take initiative. And that's how I handle every project I get.
Hey, Kevin, you thinking about retirement?
I'd love to, but I'm pretty busy with all this.
Yeah. Hey, let's meet our retirement coach, Avo. A is for taking action.
Not anxiety?
No, Kevin, you're gonna be fine.
You sing?
Barely. V is for variety.
And you dance?
Sort of. Come on. O is for optimize your savings.
Let Avo lead the way.
Visit aceyourretirement.org today.
Nice.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome back to Eagle Eye TV. We are playing Auburn Feud. It's round 4. The Circle has quite a lead over Weagle for right now. There's still 2 more rounds to play. Give me Grayson and give me Daria. Let's play the Feud. All right, guys. Name a reason you're late to class.
The rain.
The rain. The rain. It's up there, but you have a chance to get a better one. Name a reason you're late to class.
Tiger Transit.
Tiger Transit. Tiger Transit is the higher answer. Circle's gonna play? Circle's gonna play. All right, Hunter.
Definitely overslept.
Overslept. Number 1 answer. I did that this morning. No class.
Yeah, it's fine.
All right, Cecilia, name a reason you're late to class.
Alarms didn't go off.
Alarms didn't go off. Alarms didn't go off is not up there.
Oh, good answer.
All right, strike 1. Strike 1. Chloe, name a reason you're late to class.
Studying for another class.
Studying for another class is not up there. That is strike number 2. All right, Greer. All right. Name a reason you're late to class.
I'm lazy.
Lazy. Lazy is also not up there, and that is strike 3. So we're going to go over here to Weagle and see if they can steal these points.
Hey, I believe in you.
No, it's you. It's me?
It is you.
Oh, God.
Name a reason you're late to class.
We're going to say a late night before.
A late night before is not on the board. I'm so sorry. It was a good answer. I'll give you that one. After round 4, our scores are... After round 4, our scores are the Circle 265, 268.
What are the other answers though?
Auburn, I'm getting there. I want to let everybody know where we stand, and then we'll get there. Weagle, this is why you guys still have 92. Weagle has 92. So, the number 5 answer. Long walk. Long walk. Number 4, traffic.
Yeah, definitely.
And number 2, food lines. That Chick-fil-A line can be very long. All right, like we said a minute ago, the official score, Auburn Circle 268, Weagle 92. Come back, we're going to play one more round of the feud here on Eagle Eye TV.
My mother was always very familiar with her neighborhood, but one day she stopped at the stop sign for much longer than usual. And she didn't know whether she should go forward or turn, and she wasn't even really sure where she was at. It was very unsettling for her.
I felt so much better after my son told me, "Mom, I don't want you to worry or be afraid. I'll be there for you, and we'll figure it out."
I'll be right back.
Hi. You think you're probably sober?
Yeah.
But you're thinking about taking the back roads home, just in case. If you're probably sober, then why would you do that? Good choice.
Probably okay isn't okay. If you see a warning sign, stop and call a cab, a car, or a friend.
That's a full glass of wine. I'll be chatting you later.
Bye-bye.
Hi. Hoping for a crisp breeze to help keep you alert. Oh, he took a sip of water too. That'll probably help. You were probably gonna turn down the radio too, so you could focus, right?
Probably okay isn't okay.
Right.
If you see a warning sign, stop and call a cab, a car, or a friend.
I think the water line is what really drove it home. I blew on him.
Welcome back to the feud on Eagle Eye TV. The Circle currently holds a lead over Weagle, but that might change here in a minute. This round is worth double. Give me Hunter, give me Breland. Let's go. All right, last question. Don't be nervous. What is a freshman dorm room must-have?
Ramen noodles.
Ramen noodles. I don't think ramen noodles is on the board, Auburn Circle.
I'm going to say a laundry basket.
Laundry basket is also not on the board. So we're going to go right here. Bryn?
I'm gonna say a blanket.
A blanket is not on the board. Cecilia, what is a freshman dorm room must-have? 5.
No way.
Lysol is on the board. All right, Chloe. What is a freshman dorm room must-have?
Mini fridge.
Mini fridge. Mini fridge, number one answer. All right, Greer. What is a freshman dorm room must-have?
Microwave.
Microwave. Number 2 on the board. Right. 3 answers are off. No strikes. So you got some room to work with. What is a freshman dorm room must-have?
TV.
TV. TV, number 3. 2 answers left. No strikes. What is a freshman dorm room must-have?
I'm going to say a PlayStation.
A PlayStation. PlayStation is not up there, but I'm right there with you. I had one in mind. All right, Cecilia. 2 answers left. 1 strike. What is a freshman dorm room must-have?
A pillow.
A pillow. No, a pillow is not up there. That was strike 2. So, you get this one up there, y'all are still alive. And if not, Weagle gets a chance to steal. What is a freshman dorm room must-have?
I don't know. An extra blanket.
An extra blanket is not up there. We said blanket, and now we said extra blanket. That one's not up there. All right, Bryn. You guys have a chance to steal. There's 2 answers left.
Okay.
You see what's up there. What is a freshman dorm room must-have?
It is a mattress topper.
Mattress topper is up there! We had 1 answer left, and that was number 6. That was personal fan. It gets hot in all the dorm rooms. We're calculating the scores right now. Auburn Circle 268, Weagle 210. The Auburn Circle has come away victorious in this round 1 of Auburn Feud. Cecilia, what do you credit to you guys win?
I would credit that to being part of the best organization on campus, which is Auburn's Literary and Arts magazine.
Is there anything else you'd like to say before we sign off?
Submit to the Circle. Thank you. That's it.
All right, we're going to walk over to Weagle. Bryn, what happened?
Hey, we did our best. We really tried out there. We just couldn't compete with the Circle. So, congrats, guys.
Well, that was it here for the first episode, the season premiere of Auburn Feud here on Eagle Eye TV. The Auburn Circle was able to come up with the win over Weagle. Tune in next week when we have our next episode. For Eagle Eye TV, my name is Hayden Desmond, and we're signing off. War Eagle, and good night.
My name is Bobby Woodard, and I serve as the Vice President for Student Affairs
here at Auburn University. I've been here since 2014. I've been working in the building behind us that's had no official name, and in fact, since it was built in 2008, it has not had an official name. Thousands of folks have been working in and visiting this beautiful building, especially on game days, which we have simply just called the Student Center. That all changes today, and we're very excited about it. We are gathered here to officially name this building the Harold D. Melton Student Center. It is hard to imagine for me of having a name on a student center that doesn't represent any better than Chief Justice Melton. This building didn't exist when Harold Melton graduated in 1988. He spent most of his time in the Foyer Union, which at that time was the student center of the university. His SGA presidency, as we all know, was historic. Harold won his election in a landslide. He won 65% of the vote. But he left it to others to talk about the historic nature of his victory. I went back and I read the news coverage of his election, and something caught my eye in the story that the Plainsman did about his win. The new SGA president wasn't talking about the history being made or how overwhelmingly popular he was. All he wanted to do was call his mom. And that was a quote in the Plainsman. That humility is ingrained in Chief Justice Melton. It followed him from Auburn, where he had earned a degree in international business, to the University of Georgia Law School, and to the Georgia Governor's Office, where he was executive counsel to Governor Sonny Perdue. Governor Perdue appointed him to Georgia Supreme Court in 2005, and he was named Chief Justice in 2018. All of that fed into the ultimately easy decision to name the Student Center after Chief Justice. Last year's SGA president, Miss Mary Margaret Tartan, got the ball rolling in that direction, and our current SGA president, Miss Ada Ruth Huntley, who you'll hear from later today, made sure we finished that. Chief Justice Melton has said that hearing Harold Franklin, Auburn's first black student, speak was what inspired him to make changes on our campus. Leading to his historic SGA presidency, there is no doubt that Chief Justice Melton has and will continue to inspire students in the same way, both by what he's doing on the Supreme Court of Georgia and what he did as a student here at Auburn University. Chief Justice Melton is the walking, talking, living, breathing embodiment of the Auburn Creed. An Auburn man through and through. I could think of no better way to recognize him than naming this building in his honor. This beautiful building finally has a name on it. I am, for one, proud to work in the Harold D. Melton Student Center. It will be a lasting testament to all that he has accomplished and all there is to come for him to accomplish. At this time, I'm delighted to welcome Auburn University's president, Dr. Jay Googe.
Thank you, Bobby. I always like to start by saying it's a great day in the life of Auburn University. This is a really, really, really great day in the life of Auburn University, and I want to thank all of you for being here today. We're making history. I was thinking, in 1856, this little site became the East Alabama Male College. So we got our start. And in 1872, we were named the land-grant university, a part of Abraham Lincoln's vision for what could be. And then in 1892, we became the first university, first college in the state of Alabama to become co-educational, the second within the South. We admitted women in 1892. And then I think as we move forward, it's about 1964, and we admitted our first African-American student, Harold Franklin. And then, as Bobby has mentioned, in 1987, I think it was, this young kid comes over here. He gets this whole student body excited. They elect him as student body president, head of the Student Government Association, and then we come to today, and we make real history today. And I just simply want to say that Chief Justice Melton, you actually honor Auburn by allowing us to honor you today. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Liz Huntley, and I serve on the Auburn University Board of Trustees, and I am the co-chair of the Auburn University Trustees Task Force that was assembled this summer under the leadership of our distinguished pro tem Wayne Smith to look at our buildings on Auburn's campus. And as Dr. Woodard has said to you, the SGA president, Mary Margaret Turton, and then Ada Ruth Huntley, which if you haven't noticed the family resemblance, happens to be my daughter, made sure we got it done and made sure that we did what the students set out to do. And what I want to point out as I stick to the script of the remarks, and they knew I was going to go off script, what I want to point out is that it was a white female SGA president that pushed the initiative for this student center to be named the Harold Melton Student Center. And then it was the first African American female SGA president that's finishing it out. And we often talk about Black history in this country when I think we need to change our tune and call it gray history. Because when we look back on all of the advancements that have occurred in our society, that have advanced diversity efforts, that have advanced humanitarian efforts, it's always been that side of America that's the good side, that believes in all of us, that looks at the character of a man and determine that that character should be celebrated. And that's what's significant to me about this day. As a task force, this naming represents the first building on Auburn's campus that's named after an African American. And it couldn't be more fitting for it to be Harold Melton. We today celebrate the accomplishments of this esteemed trailblazer who has represented Auburn with such distinction and who has led meaningful change towards progress in the way of diversity and equality. It is truly fitting that Auburn's hub of student activity be named for Chief Justice Melton, who was the first person of color, as we've said, elected student body's president. And the naming will forever serve to remind all Auburn students, past, current, and future, with perseverance in adversity and hard work, and we know a little thing about hard work that's in our creed, anything is possible. Today's naming also speaks to the long-term deliberative work Auburn has committed to in advancing a culture of inclusivity that will serve to further unite our Auburn family. You know, and I have to add, there's another historic thing that's happening today, and I'm not sure that she's here. This is Harold's Day, but it's also significant that Auburn University just embraced its first African American Auburn Alumni Association president, Regina Sanders. We continue to make such great strides in our family in celebrating, again, people for their character and not the color of their skin. From a personal standpoint, this moment today is a full circle occasion for me as we recognize the achievements of Justice Melton, who paved the way for generations to come, including my daughter, who became the first African American female president. Earlier this semester, this is the kind of guy he is. Earlier this semester, he came over to speak to a class, as he often does, coming to our campus, pouring into our young students. And as he came over, he took the time to spend time with my daughter to talk about the things that they both could identify and relate to in their unique positions. And I publicly want to say thank you for that. And thank you for being so gracious of your time. Although he did happen to look at his SGA pictures and notice that he looks much better now than he did then. Or at least he said that. So on behalf of the Auburn University Board of Trustees and as a proud mother, I want to thank Chief Melton for continuing to cultivate the next generation of leaders and for setting a foundation that allows our children to not only dream, but to achieve. It's a cornerstone of belief in oneself, service to others, understanding and mutual respect for one another that we continually build upon and that is more fully realized with each passing day. Certainly what you have exemplified. So as I look to the future and all that this naming represents, I see a bright horizon of hope, a signal to all in the Auburn family, especially our students, that our Auburn, that we're truly a family united in purpose and devoted to the ideals of the Auburn Creed. So in closing, I just say it's a privilege to be on this stage with you, and it's an honor to be a part of this moment in time in history. At this time, I would like to invite my fellow trustee, Bob Dumas, to the stage, who's Vice Pro Tem of our Auburn trustees. And I'd also like to invite Chief Justice Melton to the front of the stage. And we'd like, on behalf of the Board of Trustees, to present Chief Justice Melton with this resolution that reads as follows. Whereas Chief Justice Harold Melton graduated from Auburn University with a bachelor's degree in international business in 1988, and whereas Chief Justice Melton was elected as the first African American Student Government Association president in 1987, and whereas Chief Justice Melton was the first independent elected SGA president since 1965, and whereas Chief Justice Melton earned a law degree from the University of Georgia, we won't hold that against him, and spent 11 years in the Georgia Department of Law under two Georgia's attorneys general, and whereas Chief Justice Melton became the first African American to serve as chief legal advisor for a Georgia governor, and whereas Chief Justice Melton became only the third African American to be appointed to the Supreme Court of Georgia on July 1, 2005, and was sworn in as Chief Justice on September 4, 2008. And now, therefore, be it resolved that the Auburn University Student Center be named the Harold D. Melton Student Center in recognition of his dedication and groundbreaking election as the first African American SGA president. With that in mind, I want to thank you all for being here today at this very grand event, and I want to thank all of those that play a part in putting together these Auburn events. John and all the others, you always have to take the time to thank the folks that make these things happen, especially in such a critical time as we're in now. It's nice to be in person, and it's nice to see you all in person, and I hope John Wagner feels like I read that resolution properly, since it's usually his job. With that in mind, thank you all for being here, and I would like to welcome your current SGA president and my daughter, Ada Ruth Huntley, to the stage for her insight on behalf of the student body. War Eagle.
War Eagle. Auburn University Student Center opened its doors to more than 5,000 visitors each day. In 2008, the Student Center was built to serve as the quote-unquote family room of the university. This is where friends gather around tables and congregate for meals. This is where classmates help each other expand their knowledge between classes. This is where late-night events provide students with a safe place to build community. This is where student leaders gather to develop their leadership and leave Auburn better than they found it. The Student Center is a cornerstone of the Auburn student experience and serves as a safe place for all to gather. I cannot think of any building more fitting to carry the name of Chief Justice Harold D. Melton. Chief Justice Melton was the first African American and independent Student Government Association president elected at Auburn University. He won in a landslide victory, achieving 65% of the vote, and affirmed that every student can make a positive difference at Auburn. And I have to go off script and say I got nowhere near close to 65%, so kudos to you. During his tenure from 1987 to 1988, he worked to improve student life at Auburn, and his perspective was impactful in ensuring he would not be the last African American SGA president here. He was a part of paving the way for many student leaders to come, including myself. I have the honor of serving as Auburn's first Black female SGA president. I understand that this honor is one that I could not have accomplished without others setting the example for me to lead well. There have been many Black faculty, staff, alumni, community members, and many more who have opened doors for students like me to have the opportunity to thrive and succeed on Auburn's campus. I treasure any opportunity to thank those members of the Auburn family, and it is a great honor that I get to thank Chief Justice Melton today. You walked so that I could run, and I'm incredibly grateful for your contributions to our university. Due to Chief Justice Melton's impact on Auburn while he was a student, the long-lasting impact on the student body for decades past his graduation, and his contributions to cater to the community around him, the student body is thrilled that we are naming the Student Center building the Harold D. Melton Student Center. This naming will continue to be influential by recognizing the impact that Chief Justice Melton continues to have. Today's student leaders and those in the future will seek to continue to make a positive difference on Auburn's campus with the inspiration of Chief Justice Melton's empowerment. Thank you, Chief Justice Melton, and War Eagle. I would now like to welcome our honored guest, Chief Justice Harold D. Melton, to the podium to share his remarks.
Good afternoon. Well, I feel like somebody who's attending his own funeral. It is a privilege to hear so many great things said about me, and many of which I, of course, don't feel like I even begin to deserve. And there's a lot I could say at a time like this, but first things first, beat Tennessee. I do want to thank Ada Ruth for those kind words, and Miss Liz Huntley for all her fine work and effort on behalf of the university, and this effort in particular, along with James Pratt, who was the co-chair of the naming task force that ultimately approved this initiative. Of course, thank Dr. Gouge for his continued leadership at this institution and the other members of the Board of Trustees. I'd like to thank Van Henley, president of the Auburn Alumni Association, the Black Alumni Council, and special thanks really goes to Student Government Association itself. This was a student-led initiative, both for this year's leadership team and the previous leadership team. So thank y'all very much. It is a privilege to share this with my family who are here. You've had my wife and kids introduced. I've got one who's up in Chicago in finals right now, so she couldn't make it. My mother, my father and his wife, brother and wife, and special friends. And we've got family from Houston who arrived just today. And so many of y'all are friends and family, more than friends, you're family in ways that you know. It's not more than you can imagine because you know how much you mean to me and to our family. You know, when you show up to school your first year of college, you really don't know what you're getting into. You don't know what's in store. You hope you've made the right decision. And I will tell you that I surely didn't know what I was getting into. And I wasn't confident and wasn't determined that I had made the right decision. There was one lady in my apartments who asked me, she was yelling across the parking lot, if I had made a decision about what school I would attend. And I said, yes, I decided to go to Auburn. And she was really, really excited about it. And next day, $20 showed up with a note. And I was tutoring one of her kids, and I went to her house and was tutoring the kids. So she says, so when do you start Harvard? And I said, I didn't say Harvard, I said Auburn. And she just kind of went pale and said, well, you can keep the $20. So I wasn't sure I'd made the right decision. I never thought that I would get involved in the SGA or certainly become SGA president. Never thought I would be on the Supreme Court. And you can imagine, I never imagined this kind of moment. I do thank the Lord. I do thank the Lord that he led me to this place because it was exactly what I needed for spiritual, educational, and social growth. And I'm grateful every day that this is where I went. August 24th, I think, was the day that I got the call from Liz Huntley. And she suggested this idea that they're thinking about naming something after me. And it was one of those moments, you have these moments in life where you're not sure you can hear everything correctly. That was one of those moments. And what I thought I heard her say, there was some back corner of a closet that they're going to name after me. And secret is, I'd have been very happy with the back corner of a closet. And once I realized that they were naming this whole big thing, I was just shaking. And she said, well, we need to have your permission, and I'm just shaking. And there are a couple of thoughts that ran through my head. One of the thoughts was just the meaning of what this is for a name, your name. And I thought back at Dean Foy, Dean of Students, who was the name principal behind Foy Union, the great memories that I had at Foy Union with student government, the cafeteria, just walking through just to see who's there. And seeing Dean Foy walk through there. And it was more than his name on the building. He took that as a role, an assignment. He would go through just to say hi to everybody. And he was an older man at this time. And I remember him coming up and saying hi, and how you doing? You having everything you need? As if he had some power to fix anything. But he cared enough to play that role, and that's how he saw his duties. And so I have fond memories of Dean Foy. I have fond memories of Foy Union. And then the second name that came to mind was Harold Franklin. And I can't compare my experience here at Auburn to Harold Franklin's experience. What he had to do here was basically endure. He had to endure. He had to suffer. And ultimately, this university is doing what it takes to make sure he got what he's earned. And I'm proud of what the university is doing in that regard. But my experience was so much different. I wasn't knocking doors down and busting through windows. Mine was a path that existed with friendship and camaraderie and fun, and we celebrated our way to the finish line. And so when I decided to run for SGA president, I remember there were some detractors. You'd be proud to know that those detractors had nothing to do with Auburn University. They were at other schools. And what they told me was, your friends that you think are friends, well, they're only your friends for so much, and only your friends for so far. And as you start sticking your neck out, you're going to see those friends fall off. I said, no, those aren't the kind of friends I have. And the kind of friends I have are here right now still. And they said, well, the university, they're not going to want you being the face of the university. I said, I don't think that's my university. And then when I had the privilege of winning, my friends were with me. The university was with me. They were not embarrassed. In fact, they pushed me forward. I'm thankful for the embrace that they gave to me during that time. When I was campaigning, my slogan was Auburn on my mind. And there was a play on the fact that I was from Georgia, and our theme song is Georgia on my mind. And I ran really with the idea of wanting to serve Auburn in a way that I hoped that I would be able to, and that I maybe had something to offer. And so it wasn't for me, but it was for Auburn on my mind. And what I found was, as I reached out to embrace Auburn, Auburn embraced me all the more. And that's been the theme throughout, from the students to the administration, from 1988, 1984 is when I showed up, to 2020. And so as I look back and consider all that, it does result in a message to the students who are here, students of all walks of life. I would say first and foremost, get involved. Get involved, but do more than get involved, because really getting involved is not enough in and of itself. you really have to leave your mark. Don't come tentatively to this place. Come in full speed ahead. This university has so much to offer. So many corners of this university are rich beyond what we could ever imagine. And all it takes is to walk in with some boldness and explore and enjoy. And if you face adversity, if you happen to meet opposition in any form, push through anyway. Don't get knocked off course. This university has too much to offer to allow yourself not to enjoy all that it has to offer because of a little adversity. And by the way, give. You have too much to give to this university to get knocked off course by a little adversity. And so as you come here, as you spend 4, 5, 6, however many years it takes, come with a mission to get and to give, and be committed to that. Auburn University owes me nothing. It really doesn't. It's already given me anything I could ever hope for and ask for. I do thank you for this honor. I'm happy to play the role that's associated with the honor that you have given me. But I do have one request, and that one request is this. In the yearbook for 1988, in the Glomerata, there's a photo, and it's a photo of election night. And that's one of my favorite photos in life because it captures that moment. It captures my experience, my entire 4 years here. It's the night of election, and Mark Cantor, our campaign manager, is in the picture, and then some other people in the picture, and I don't even know who they are. But the point of it is, here I am trying to do something and reach out and embrace Auburn, and no matter how much I try to do that, the university holds me up even more. There are no words to express how I feel, except for these. War Eagle! Hey!
As we begin to close our ceremony today, I want to thank you all for joining us today. And at this time, I'd like to ask Chief Melton to stand there, Ms. Ada Ruth Huntley to stand here. And if you'll start to untie your ropes, we are going to lower the banner behind us and officially welcome the new building in its name. And we're working. We're an engineering school, so we do really well to keep the ropes up. It's hard to tie them up. So, all right. And we're going to start in a second, and we're going to release. And I want to present to you, as of now on, the Harold D. Melton Student Center. And that concludes our ceremony today. Thank you. War Eagle.
I'm joined here today by Dr. Bobby Woodard, the Senior Vice President of Student Affairs here at Auburn University. Dr. Woodard, thank you for sitting down with me.
Perfect. Thank you for having me, AJ.
So, Dr. Woodard, being in charge of Student Affairs puts you in charge of a large variety of departments, including Greek life, housing, dining, and many others. How are these offices adjusting and innovating during this unprecedented time of COVID-19?
Yeah, so we started planning in January for what was going to happen. Now, we did not plan for us to go remote in March, so we had to pivot real quickly on that. And then the summer gave us a little bit of time to plan more for the fall. So how they planned more is, say, dining. Dining has had to shift some of their hours. They've had to shift how they deliver meals. And if you notice, if you do Grubhub, you can pick it up, and it's a little place that you a shelf that you go pick it up at versus someone actually touching it. Also, they're now doing at-home meals. So if you stay at an apartment or something off campus, you can go and it's almost, you pick up a meal to go, a prep meal, and you go home and you cook, and it gives you instructions of how to cook it. So that's the pivot there. Housing is a little bit more difficult. Housing, you have all these people in close quarters that you having over there, and also you want to do some programming. So we limit our programming, added more virtual options for everything, and then also we were having 3 buildings decommissioned, which actually worked out this year because our quarantine students and isolation students can stay in those facilities. Greek life is another thing. We had to change how we do recruitment for sororities, fraternity rush. We changed that also, and also how they're going to do their events, how they feed their students at the houses, and also how they do chapter meetings, and most of that has been virtual or in waves or in platoons to do that.
I know you had brought up housing and that we have now 3 dorms being used for quarantine and isolation housing. About 2 weeks ago, Yellowhammer News reported that about 67% of these quarantine dorms were full. Can you provide us with an update on that number?
Sure. This week it's 12% full in the residence halls. And let me clarify that. Because it fluctuates between the 14-day and the 10-day of isolation and quarantine and when students go in, the number fluctuates every day. So today we could be at 12%, tomorrow we can be at 67%, and then it would somebody's coming out of the residence hall every day while somebody's probably going in the residence halls every day. So at this point in time we are doing well. Now we will see the spike from Labor Day starting this week, and we'll go into next week and we'll see that. But right now with our 3 residence halls, we're doing really well with our capacity for on-campus students and letting them quarantine and isolate.
We've received reports of students across Auburn telling people not to self-report for fear of campus closing down, similar to what happened in March. What is your response to these students?
Sure. So first of all, our plan is to be here till the 24th of November. We want to be in in-person classes, we want to do remote classes, and then we'll begin exams and so forth. So our goal, the whole semester, has to be to complete this semester and be here through the Thanksgiving week. Now, for the students that are not reporting, we want you to report. It is simple as that. It is common good. It is so that we know what's going on and we can figure out if there's any clusters here. There's a self-report form that you can do online, and that way it's just, and we are tracking. And the reason we're tracking it is just to see if there's any clusters. It's for the greater good and the safety of our whole campus. I highly encourage you to report if you do get that or get a positive, or if you think someone beside you has gotten a positive, then to quarantine yourself for 14 days just to make sure. The problem is you don't always have to be symptomatic. You can be asymptomatic and still be carrying the virus. So at that point in time, I know our students are a little worried about if we're going to, shut down or go remote. At this point, we have no plans of going remote. Our numbers are doing well. We'd like to see them lower, of course. We do know that we'll expect a spike next week and the week after, and then we're hoping they'll go down again. And we'll just have to manage that. And as long as that the local hospital, AEMC, can handle some of the influx, our medical clinic here on campus, our quarantine isolation dorms are doing well, I think we'll be okay, and I think we'll make it to the end of November.
So the Sentinel testing program here at Auburn being provided by GuideSafe has been running for a little over a week. Have any of your departments had any issues with high numbers reported?
So in the Division of Student Affairs, we do. We've had students, or student workers, I should say, and we've also had employees test positive by going through the Sentinel testing that GuideSafe has, or going through a public doctor or a private doctor, I should say, at the same time. And what happens is we have our human resource liaison is managing that. That person reports to them, and then at that time they're given COVID leave, and they're asked to quarantine or isolate if they're positive, to isolate. And then at that point in time, we make sure that the people that need to know in the department that someone has become in contact with them that may have had the virus, and we will go for it there. So it's been a low number, but we have had a number of, especially students in our division. I mean, we employ about 750 students a year through the Division of Student Affairs, and so we've had a small number, but we've had a number of students that have tested positive.
We are about 10 days away from Auburn's football home opener against Kentucky. Can you tell us a little bit about what the university's plan is to stop students, or at least spread students out, in crowding up outside Jordan-Hare prior to kickoff?
Yeah, we're working with the local event management group, but also athletics, of how to get students in. The good thing is, for the most part, that first game is only students in the general public area. And if you walk by the stadium right now, you can see the seats. The seats are in sections of 2 or 4 together. And we're going to have people monitor that when you get inside the bowl. For the most part, you have to sit in those seats. You need to be in those seats. Now, you can stand up, but you can't move away from the seats. That's to kind of help with the social distancing, and it's a visual social distance. So if I'm standing at the bottom of it, I can look up and see if people are social distancing or not in there. This first game is a test, and it depends on how the students act. I mean, if the students are responsible and they wear their masks, they social distance, they wear the mask and they go to the restroom or concession stand, they stay in the seats, and again, you don't have to stay seated, but stay in that area of the seats, and you social distance, you spread out, then I think we get to have more students at more games as we go down the year. Now, if the students go in there and they don't pay attention to the social distancing or what people are asking them to do while we're going there, then it will hurt how many students get to go to the games further down the year. So it's the responsibility of this first game and the students that get to go. I think it's around 13,000 students that get to go into the game to really decide how we're going to operate as we go further. Now, I will also say that don't forget that our women's soccer starts this Friday, as well as the weather clears up, and they will also have students, and you can apply for students there. So that's another way for our students to get out and really try athletic commitment before we actually go into football next weekend.
According to a study done by the Healthy Minds Network and the American College Health Association, colleges across the country have seen an uptick in students seeking counseling and help in regards of their mental health during such a stressful time. What is your reaction to this, and how is student counseling helping students here at Auburn?
Yeah, it's very true. AJ, you are spot on with that research that you did on that. We are seeing an uptick in that. The good thing is that our health wellness promotion area here has a Sound Mind off the Student Affairs webpage that students can go and get some ideas of how to relax and how to deal with anxiety during this point in time. The other thing you mentioned was student counseling and psychological services. There's a 24/7 hotline. And at this point, someone can call that at any point in time and talk to a person. We also offer group sessions as well as individual sessions, virtual. We can do in person if it's the right situation. So we do offer those, and we're also trying to get people to get out of their residence hall or get out of their apartment in small groups, social distancing with a mask, but we are offering events so students can do that, and we encourage you to get out. Don't stay trapped up in your room. Don't stay watching TV all day or on social media all day. You've got to have some interaction. So we really want our students to take control of their mental health and go out and try to find something that helps them relax, help them deal with the anxiety. All of us have that right now with being, cooped up or with the other restrictions on campus and out in the community. So counseling psychological services does offer 24/7. Again, our Sound Mind on our health wellness promotion also offers some ideas for our students to relax.
An email was sent out to students last week by Campus Safety, which states that there had been 2 reports where students believe that they had been involuntarily given a drug at an unauthorized fraternity-related event. What is the university doing to help keep students safe from druggings?
So that event, yes, we had a call, I don't know, about 7 o'clock that night before it went out to discuss the situation, and that there was a timely warning necessary to send out, and we sent that out. So we are investigating that. The local law enforcement, Auburn PD, as well as our Greek Life Office and Student Conduct are investigating that organization for that, and some of the people possibly in the organization. So what I will tell you, in any point in time, whether you're on campus or you go down to the local establishments downtown or anywhere else, always watch your drink, cover your drink, have somebody watch your drink. Don't leave it unattended, whether it's a Coke or water or Gatorade or whether other things that may be in those red Solo cups and so forth. I would say that you continue to keep those covered. If you do feel that you're not feeling good or you're not feeling right, have a buddy, go with a buddy, have them help you get somewhere. Don't go home, don't go out with somebody you don't know. If somebody offers to take you home and you don't know them, call someone that you do know. Then also seek medical attention if you feel that you really have been drugged.
What is Greek Life doing to monitor and prevent future unauthorized gatherings?
So Greek Life has a policy, and I have met with IFC. I will be meeting with NPHC hopefully in the next couple of days. I need to make a call to them and talk to them, as well as Pan Atlantic. But IFC with the fraternity houses seems to be in their fall, sometimes more the offenders of this policy. So we are working with Greek Life, and Greek Life are working with those students to make sure they follow the rules. If they don't follow the rules, then there's repercussions for that. And as you may or may not know, we have a couple organizations currently that are on cease and desist because we're doing investigations into them. And that's where the consequences come from as they go to the IFC court. And then again, if it isn't an organizational case and it turns into a personal case, that means if there's one or two people responsible versus the whole organization, they'll also go through student code of conduct.
Across our nation, we have been seeing an increase in awareness of racial discrimination and social justice in all aspects of society. Specifically here at Auburn, there's an Instagram account titled Black at Auburn, where people of color in the community can share their experiences. Now, a majority of these experiences shared are not positive. What is Student Affairs doing to ensure equality and a better Auburn experience for everyone?
So it's not just Student Affairs' responsibility, but we have a large portion of that responsibility. So we're working with the President's office, Dr. Clayton's office, which is the Office of Diversity and Inclusion. So for us, we read those, and I get tagged in most of them, if not all of them, per my work Instagram account. And then what I do is every week that I get tagged in one, I take it to my senior team, and we look at it and we talk about, okay, what can we do better? What can we do to prevent these? So we got to talk about real world. This is what our students are feeling. This is what they're experiencing. How can we do better? And so we're looking at ways to do that. We've done one training in the Division of Student Affairs that was offered throughout the whole division. That was done by Gary Morgan over in the OID, which did an excellent job for us about that. And then the President's Cabinet, there's about 42 of us on there. The President's Cabinet, we've done 2 3-hour sessions with a facilitator to come in to learn more about how we can be a more open campus. Now, the President also has a council or a working group on diversity and inclusion that meet every Tuesday and Thursday at 3 or 4 p.m. I am not on that group, but there are others on that group, and we get a report from them every week, and then we look at how we can do better on that. The other thing I will say, the last thing is not only are we keeping that internally, but externally, the Board of Trustees also has a working group of how we can improve our access to the university, our scholarships to the university, but also how we do better about practices on campus for our students.
Is there anything else that you would like to talk about or let students know?
Well, the biggest thing, and AJ, you hit it a little bit. Look, everybody uses the word unprecedented, and we know that, but here's the thing, it's a difficult time. We've got a lot going on in our country. We've got a lot going on with the presidential elections coming up, some racial inequality stuff, social unrest. We're getting ready for football to kick up, which is a big fall sport for us. We got the pandemic. We've got some regulations on campus, off campus that we all got to deal with. We got the stresses of already going to campus. I just want everybody to take time and take a breath, think about your mental health, but reach out to someone. If you're struggling, reach out to someone, ask a friend. Even if you don't ask a friend, ask somebody that works here at university for help. We will get you help. You've got to take care of what makes you, you. We want you to be safe, but we want you to be happy at the same time. So we're going to make sure that you're successful at the university, but you got to take care of yourself first. So I guess, AJ, the one thing I want to tell all of our students, look, you've done an excellent job. We've asked a lot of you. You have kept up with the mandates that we've put forth. It is a different time than you've ever experienced and than we've ever experienced. I just want to say thank you to our students because you're chipping in and you're really caring about our Auburn community, and I really do appreciate your effort, and we got to keep it up. We're only about 5 weeks in the semester, so keep up the great work. Good luck with all the courseworks, and if there's anything we can do, let us know.
Well, that is all the time that we have today for Plain Talk. Dr. Woodard, I want to thank you once again for coming down here, sitting down with me and answering a few of our questions. It's always a joy to have you down here. Be sure to follow us on all our social media platforms at EETV, and be sure to check out our website at eagleeyeauburn.com. I'm AJ Rivera, and War Eagle.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Hayden Desmond, and tonight is Auburn Feud here on Eagle Eye TV. Tonight we have the Involvement Ambassadors and O Board. All right. Yep, clap it up, clap it up, clap it up. Give me Emmy, give me Jacob. Let's play the feud. So we're going to go hands at our sides. You're going to hit this part of my podium here. First one to hit gets to answer. You just got a new phone. What's the first app you download?
Instagram.
Instagram. Second on the board. So you have a chance to try to get that top answer. You just got a new phone. What's the first app you download, Jacob?
Snapchat.
Snapchat. Snapchat is the number one answer. O Board looks like they're going to play.
Let's play. Okay.
All right, this is my friend Ahil. Ahil, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, I'm a junior majoring in supply chain management from Birmingham, Alabama.
Okay. Ahil, you just got a new phone. What is the first app you download?
I'm going to say Twitter.
Twitter. Do I see Twitter? Twitter is up there at number 3. All right, tell us your name and a little bit about yourself.
My name's Gracie. I'm a finance major and a senior from Enterprise, Alabama.
Okay, Gracie, you just got a new phone. What is the first app you download?
Facebook.
Facebook? Facebook's number 5. All right, man, tell me your name and a little bit about yourself.
I'm Reed from Huntsville, Alabama, majoring in mechanical engineering. Oh, this is a tough one. They took all of mine.
Do you only have 4 apps?
Honestly, I only use like 4. Wow, this is a tough one. I kind of want to go with a game, but I can't think of one right now. This is really sad.
5 seconds.
I can't even think of an app now.
Guess anything. Just guess.
You know what? Angry Birds is the only thing that comes to mind.
Do I see Angry Birds? Angry Birds is not on there. All right, Jordan, 1 strike, 2 answers left. You just got a new phone. Tell me what's the first app you download.
I'll go with GroupMe.
GroupMe. GroupMe is on there. All right, we're back to Jacob at the top. Jacob, you have 1 strike, so you got a little bit of room to work with. Okay. So you just got a new phone. What is the first app you download?
I'm gonna say TikTok.
TikTok? TikTok is not on there. I was surprised on that one too. All right, Ahil, we're back to you. 2 strikes, 1 answer left. So if you hit this, you guys get the points. But if not, Involvement gets a chance to steal. Okay, you just got a new phone. What's the first app you download?
You know, I like listening to music on my drive up, so I'm going to say like Apple Music or Spotify, something like that.
Apple Music or Spotify? Spotify is on the board. So, O Board is going to take the first round with a score of 108, and Involvement has yet to get on the board. Stay right here. We're coming back for round 2 of Auburn Feud here on Eagle Eye TV.
There was an old woman who lived in a shoe. She had so many children, she didn't know what to do. She gave them some broth without any bread and kissed them all soundly.
Lights out. Good night.
And put them to bed. Hunger is a story we can end. End it at feedingamerica.org.
I was living in a shelter, juggling 3 jobs. I had to be resilient. That's something that you can't teach.
You can achieve a lot using your imagination. I mean, I don't like to brag, but... Wait, who's that? And why is she all over these achievement awards? But with STEM, the sky's the limit. Shaboom! Use STEM to envision... Okay, I'm seeing it. Yeah. Invent...
Got any ideas?
I've got a few, actually. And create a better world. Told you she's super smart. If she can STEM, so can you. Find out more at She Can STEM.
Welcome back to Eagle Eye TV. My name is Hayden Desmond. We're playing Auburn Feud. We're on to round 2. Now, a quick reminder of the score. O Board did get on the board first with 108, and Involvement has yet to get on the board, but that can change very easily here in round 2. So, give me Bailey, give me Ahil, and we're going to play the feud. All right, guys. Name something only Auburn students understand.
Ahil. War Eagle.
War Eagle. Number 1 answer. They're going to play. No pressure. All right, Gracie. Name something only Auburn students understand.
The fear of the concourse.
The fear of the concourse? Concourse craziness is on there at number 3. All right. No strikes, so you're good. You got a little bit of room to breathe. Name something only Auburn students understand.
I'm gonna say the Auburn family.
The Auburn family. That's strike 1. I would have thought that was up there too. All right, Jordan. Name something only Auburn students understand.
For my own personal fears, I'm gonna go with the Haley Center.
The Haley Center. Haley Center is up there at number 2. All right, Jacob. Name something only Auburn students understand.
All I can think is football, so I'm gonna go with Bodegetta.
Bodegetta. I don't see Bodegetta up there. All right, we're back to you. We have 1 strike, 2 strikes, 2 strikes. So, like I said last time, if you get this wrong, no pressure, but involvement does have a chance to steal. All right, name something only Auburn students understand.
Let's go with rolling tumors.
Rolling tumors. Rolling tumors is up there. All right, Gracie, quick reminder, 2 strikes. Name something only Auburn students understand.
The Creed.
The Creed. The Creed is up there. No pressure. No pressure.
I'm 0 for 2 already.
Name something only Auburn students understand.
I'm gonna say about how bad parking is.
Parking? No, parking is not up there. That is strike 3. Involvement has a chance to steal. Involvement. Emmy.
We're going to go with Tiger Transit.
Tiger Transit? Tiger Transit is not on there. The answer that we were missing was stepping on the seal. So, after round 2, the score is O board 164, and involvement still has yet to get on the board, and they are at 0. But keep it right here. We're going to come back and play round 3 here on Auburn Feud.
Yeah! Sam, Elmo!
Oh, hey, Julia. Are you ready to play band with us? I'm going to play my clarinet.
And Elmo's gonna play his drum. Drum loud.
Oh, well, you know what to do, Julia.
Julia knows.
Mm-hmm. With Julia's autism, loud sounds can be too much.
But she still loves to make music. Play band.
Early screening for autism can make a lifetime of difference. Find out more at screenforautism.org.
Put the keys down, Kevin.
But I'm gonna drive home.
There are several warning signs present that you shouldn't be driving.
My text to emoji ratio has gotten a little out of hand.
A little?
Yep, I'm definitely gonna call a ride home.
Yo, Scott.
Hey.
I'm heading out, man. You want to ride?
No, I got my car, but I actually really need to go to the bathroom.
You know what? I was just in there. The line is like 10 people long.
You know, I think I'll just...
Dude, are you okay?
You wouldn't believe what I was just thinking. I am definitely buzzed.
Yeah.
I think I will take this, and I will take that ride home.
Smart man.
Did you see how that dog was looking at me?
Welcome back, everybody, to Eagle Eye TV. We're out here playing Auburn Feud with Involvement and O Board. O Board is currently in the lead with a score of 164-0. Involvement has yet to get on the board, but that's okay. It's round 3. Give me Sam, give me Gracie. Let's play the feud. All right, guys.
Got this.
Name your favorite Auburn sporting event.
Football.
Football, number 1.
We're gonna play.
Involvement's gonna play. Involvement's gonna play. This is my first time over here at the involvement table. We're gonna ask everybody to introduce themselves. Tell me a little bit about you.
Okay, I'm Cameron. I'm a PR major and a junior.
Okay. Cameron, name your favorite Auburn sporting event.
Basketball games.
Basketball. Basketball, number 2. Saksham?
Yes.
Saksham, I got that right. Go me. All right. Tell me a little bit about yourself.
My name is Saksham. I'm a freshman in computer science.
Okay. Name your favorite Auburn sporting event.
Baseball.
Baseball. I don't see baseball. I'm so sorry. All right, coming back to the front. Emmy, tell me a little bit about yourself.
My name's Emmy, and I'm from Weaverville, North Carolina, and I'm a senior majoring in nursing.
Okay, Emmy. Name your favorite Auburn sporting event.
I'm going to go with gymnastics.
Gymnastics. Gymnastics, number 3. All right. Tell me your name and a little bit about yourself.
My name's Bailey. I'm in mechanical engineering, and I'm a senior.
Okay. Name your favorite Auburn sporting event.
The equestrians.
Equestrian. Equestrian is not on there. I'm sorry. That is strike number 2. Okay? So don't be stressed. But O Board will have a chance to steal. Okay. Name your favorite Auburn sporting event.
Softball.
Softball. Softball is not up there. O Board now has a chance to steal. They're currently meeting. O Board. All right, Jacob, for a chance to steal, name your favorite Auburn sporting event.
We're gonna go with swimming and diving.
Swimming and diving. Swimming and diving is not on there. All right, let's go over the other answers. At number 4, we had the Iron Bowl. These are polls. I did not make these, but just like a reminder. At number 5, we had anything else Auburn versus Alabama. And at number 6, we had chess. After round 3, the score is O Board 169, Involvement 104. We got a close game here, people. Keep it right here on Eagle Eye TV. This is Auburn Feud.
We need to go meet the guys. I'm lit. Can you drive?
Pool party at Jesse's. Can you drive? Will you drive? I'm a little toasty.
Nope. Nope, I'm high. But I can order us a ride.
Friendly reminder, don't drive high. If you feel different, you drive different.
Pool party at Jesse's. Can you drive? I'm toasted.
Nope, I'm high. But I can order us a ride.
Friendly reminder, don't drive high. If you feel different, you drive different.
Or that the projections would be flood next Thursday?
I can't do Thursday, but I can do Friday.
Disasters don't plan ahead. You can. Talk to your loved ones about how you're going to be ready in an emergency.
Welcome back, everybody, to Eagle Eye TV. A friendly reminder, the score is O Board 169, Involvement 104. Involvement has made it a game here going into question number 4. Give me Cameron, give me Reed. Let's play the feud. All right, guys. Name the best restaurant on campus.
Chick-fil-A.
Chick-fil-A. Number 1. I think they're going to play. All right, Jordan. Name the best restaurant on campus.
I'll go with Panera.
Panera. Panera is not on there. I'm shocked. One strike. Got a little bit of breathing room. Jacob, name the best restaurant on campus.
Chicken salad chick.
Chicken salad chick. Number 2 on the board. Ahil, name the best restaurant on campus.
You know, I'm going to go with Pan Express.
Pan Express. Pan Express, number 3. All right, Gracie, only one strike. You got a little bit of room to work with. Name the best restaurant on campus.
Amsterdam food truck.
Amsterdam food truck? Ooh, so sorry. All right, Reed. 2 strikes. Pressure's on. Name the best restaurant on campus.
I'm gonna go with Steak and Shake.
Steak and Shake. Steak and Shake was not on there. Involvement, we're coming to you guys to steal. 3 answers left. 3 answers left. Emmy, what is the best restaurant on campus?
We're going to go with Wellness Kitchen.
Wellness Kitchen. Wellness Kitchen is on the board at number 4. Let's go over the answers that we did not get. Coming in at number 6. Number 6 was AU Smokehouse. And number 5, Toro Sushi. So, after 4 questions, the score is Involvement 166, O Board 164. Come back, we're doubling the points for the final round. You're watching Auburn Feud on Eagle Eye TV.
Touchdown! Did you see that? Whoa, we scored? Yeah, we scored going to the playoffs. I can't believe I missed that. Every time I'm buzzed, I spend too much time on my phone. I should take your phone away. No, I'll call for a ride. Wait, why does my face look like that?
When I was growing up, my mom was extremely tidy. We were trained to put things back where we got them from. One day, when I walked into my mom's house, I felt like I walked to someone else's house. There was stuff everywhere. And just growing up the way I grew up and to see this transition was very alarming.
When Sean talked to me, it was a wake-up call, and that's when I went to the doctor.
Put the keys down, Kevin. But I'm gonna drive home. There are several warning signs present that you shouldn't be driving.
I've taken 25 selfies in the last 10 minutes.
26. Yep, I'm definitely gonna call a ride home.
Welcome back to Auburn Feud. We are in the final round. The points have been doubled, and the score is within 2. Involvement award is sitting at 166, and O board is sitting at 164. Okay, so give me Saksham, give me Jordan. Let's play the feud. All right, guys. Name the most famous Auburn person.
Charles Barkley.
Charles Barkley. Number 2. All right, you guys have a chance. Name the most famous Auburn person.
Petrie.
Say again.
Petrie.
Petrie. George Petrie. I do not have George Petrie. So sorry. We're coming back. All right, Jacob. Name the most famous Auburn person.
Tim Cook.
Tim Cook. Tim Cook is on their board at number 4. All right, Ahil. No strikes. Name the most famous Auburn person.
I'm going to go with Ralph Shug Jordan.
Ralph Shug Jordan. Ralph Shug Jordan is not on the board. All right, Gracie. 1 strike. Name the most famous Auburn person.
Cam Newton.
Cam Newton. Cam Newton is there at number 3. So we have 3 answers left. Number 1 answer is still up there. Reed, name the most famous Auburn person.
How recently was this done, can I ask?
2 weeks ago?
Can I go?
2-3 weeks ago.
Madison from The Bachelor.
Madison from The Bachelor. A very good guess. I will give you that one. All right, Jordan. 2 strikes. Name the most famous Auburn person.
I feel like it's a trick question, so I'm gonna go with Obby.
Obby. Obby is not on the board. 3. All right, that was the 3rd strike, so we're gonna go over to involvement. Emmy, are you nervous?
Just a tad.
Okay, a little bit of nerves are good. Name the most famous Auburn person.
I like Octavia Spencer.
Octavia Spencer? Octavia Spencer is there. Now there were 2 answers that were not given. At number 1, I was surprised none of you got this. Bo Jackson. And then at number 6, Bruce Pearl. So after 5 rounds of the feud, O board 164, and involvement 286. Involvement, you guys have won this round of Auburn Feud. Emmy, what can you credit to your guys' win today?
I just think teamwork and good communication.
Now we're gonna go to the losing side. Jacob, what happened? There was a fall from grace. It seemed like.
I wish I could tell you. I won't name names. But there were some issues. And it might be the person polling.
Called us out.
Say it.
All right, that has been episode 2 of Auburn Feud on Eagle Eye TV. Thank you for tuning in. Tune in next week when we have our next episode. My name is Hayden Desmond. You're watching Eagle Eye TV. Thanks for tuning in.
Hey viewers, welcome to Tiger Talk. This is episode 2 and we're so excited to have you here. I'm your host, Christopher Grant.
And I'm your co-host, Samantha Avila.
It's Friday the 13th of 2020 and are you creeped out about that, Samantha?
Not really, Christopher. I try not to be superstitious, especially because 2020 I think has had enough of that. So I'm gonna take it as a normal Friday, and it's Friday, which is something to look forward to. So like I said, it's a Friday, all good things. I'm gonna just keep good vibes because that's what this year needs. And of course, this is one of those Fridays nearing the end of the semester, which means we are nearing the end of our show. But we are gonna have a couple more episodes for you this year, and we have so much more to look forward to next year as well.
Yeah, and we have heard lots of great feedback from you about episode 1, and we're just happy here at Eagle Eye that you guys are enjoying the show. So we have lots for you today, lots of exciting things, and you just got to stick around. Don't go anywhere. Tigers Talk will be right back.
Hey, Kevin, you thinking about retirement?
I'd love to, but I'm pretty busy with all this.
Yeah. Hey, let's meet our retirement coach, Avo. A is for taking action.
Not anxiety?
No, Kevin, you're gonna be fine.
You sing?
Barely. V is for variety.
And you dance?
Sort of. Come on. O is for optimize your savings.
Let Avo lead the way.
Visit aceyourretirement.org today.
Nice.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome back to Tigers Talk. We're going to go ahead and start our community countdown where we tell you about things going on and around Auburn's campus. This week, in our number 5 spot, we have downtown Auburn hosting Blue Friday. Blue Friday is their version of Black Friday, which is every Friday after Thanksgiving, and this year, downtown merchants will be able to have extended hours, exclusive specials, all for the Auburn community to shop downtown and enjoy their Blue Friday. Christopher, are you going to participate?
Of course, I got to be there. You know, you got to come with me too. We got to go down there and get some stuff for Blue Friday.
Yes, retail therapy is exactly what we need.
Of course, yeah. And in our number 4 spot this week, we want to highlight Will Humphreys, who is a junior at Auburn University. He designs, he sells, and he makes face masks. And I really like this. I really like this story, Samantha, because I feel like as university students, this is how we should be thinking, innovative. And he found an opportunity from our situation right now. He's benefiting financially, and he's also helping the community to stay safe.
Yes, I totally agree. I think, honestly, 2020 having face masks is not something that we had anticipated, again, but this is something kind of unique. Everybody has the face mask because they have to wear it, especially more often, than not when they're going into establishments or restaurants or anything like that. So why not make it personal? And I think this is such a great way to give back to the community, help out others, and again, give it a personal touch. I always see masks on campus that have like a little Auburn logo or tiger stripes, and I think it's really, really cute. And in our number 3 spot, we have COSAM Campfires. The College of Science and Mathematics hosted COSAM Campfires for families of 6 who were able to purchase a ticket for $6 and go to the Davis Arboretum, where they were able to join around a campfire and listen to several mini talks about science, technologies, and other specific topics. Christopher, did you go?
No, I didn't, but I bet it was fun, and it was nice with this temperature that we're getting right now. Some campfire would be perfect in my life.
Yes, I think fire is exactly what we need, but you know what? It's okay because we're here and we're doing it.
We're doing it. In the number 2 spot, Auburn University partners with Regions Bank to teach students about financial wellness. They have been doing this program for a while now with student athletes, and they decided to extend this program towards the wider student population. I really like this idea because I believe that this is the reason why we come to university, is to learn how to secure a future or financial future. And Samantha, in times like these when we have a crisis, it gives us time to think. It begs us to think about how can we know that we're going to be able to financially secure a future where if there comes a time like this again, are we going to be able to be financially fit or financially well? And what the university doing is just great, and we just got to be grateful for that. And they've recently done their first seminar on that, and it's been successful. They had employees from Auburn and they had students at Auburn, and it went well. I really like this.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, like you said, we always have teachers preparing us for that rainy day, and this year that rainy day came for a lot of students and a lot of families. So having this financial wellness, having this knowledge to take with us after we graduate and hopefully, find jobs and live our own lives, having financial wellness and knowledge is so important and crucial, and this is a great way to help students know that.
Solid.
And in our number 1 spot, we have UPC hosting War Dam Coffee Jam yesterday to have students get together and socialize before the Thanksgiving break. Christopher, I think this is such a great way for UPC and other organizations on campus to get together and still have these social gatherings for students while following proper COVID protocols. I think is such a great way to have students come together. This semester is not what anybody had expected, obviously, but I think UPC and other organizations having these events is a great way to bring students together and kind of have a little bit of Auburn family when I think we all need it the most.
Yes, Samantha, I totally agree with that, especially in these times when we're so close to having final exams and we're so close to having Thanksgiving, and you know it's close to Christmas time and all these times are the times where it's essentially talking about getting together. And I just believe that even though it's unsafe to get together, getting together safely will do a lot for our psyche going into exams, and that was just a wonderful opportunity. I wish I was there. You know, I had practice and all that. I was tired, but it's good to have students getting together. So that's it for our community countdown this week. Go to our Instagram and our Twitter, Instagram at AU Tigers Talk Show and our Twitter at AU Tigers Talk, so that you can tell us what you think about this week's top 5. Don't go anywhere. Tigers Talk will be right back.
Yeah, Sam, Elmo. Oh, hey, Julia. Are you ready to play band with us? I'm gonna play my clarinet.
And Elmo's gonna play his drum.
Drum loud. Oh, well, you know what to do, Julia.
Julia knows.
Mm-hmm. With Julia's autism, loud sounds can be too much.
But she still loves to make music.
Play band.
Early screening for autism can make a lifetime of difference. Find out more at screenforautism.org.
Hey guys, welcome back to Tigers Talk. This is our chit chat segment where we feature multiple interesting Auburn Tigers. This week, Samantha caught up with Tyler Ward and had an amazing interview. Take a look.
Everyone, welcome back. Today, our interview is with Tyler Ward. Tyler Ward is a junior at Auburn University studying political science, and he is involved with the Black Student Union. He is an Honors College ambassador, a student involvement ambassador. He's also involved with SGA and a head counselor with first-year experience here at Auburn. Tyler, how are you?
I'm making it. How are you, Samantha?
I'm good. Can I just say, first off, I think this is an interview that I have been looking forward to for so long. I think as soon as I found out that I was going to be interviewing you, I was like, yes, Tyler Ward is such an amazing person. There's so much to talk about with him, and I could not be more excited to be sitting here with you and doing this interview.
Thank you. I'm really excited, Samantha. Same thing to you. As soon as I found out you were going to be
Thank you. So a couple of questions to ease into our interview. The first question I have for you is, what are you feeling in this election season? This whole year obviously has been a whirlwind, and it's been really, really, packed with headlines ranging from really good to really bad. And we've all kind of had this crazy year. Kind of, every person has their own perspective about this year, but for you and specifically the election season, what has this, season meant to you?
Yeah, I think that as someone who is really passionate about diversity and equity and inclusion and things like that, throughout the entire year of 2020, it's kind of showed kind of our discrepancies between what may happen to different Americans versus what happens to Black and Brown Americans. And so I think the election is the same way, that whether it's voter suppression or whether it's COVID-19, you see that the things that impact the world impacts Black and Brown people way more. And so that's just been hard to live with. That's been hard to see. That's been hard to, that's just been hard to go through as a community, as a Black community, and as a community of people that aren't always Black or Brown, to just go through that fight together. But it also feels good to know that there is some substantial data to everything that Black and Brown people have been saying. Now it cannot be they can't be discriminated against or ignored when we talk about this discrimination in healthcare and discrimination in the education system and discrimination in voting. And so kind of good and bad things with the election. All the bad things are only good because people can see them. And so it's been a tough one for sure.
I totally understand. I think, like I was saying earlier, this election season for a lot of people has been kind of on either side of the spectrum. We're kind of in the middle, where it's, been obviously dealt with a lot of opinions, a lot of, heavy thoughts and opinions from both sides. So I think, kind of in this turning point of the election, which, we've already passed election day and we're just waiting on the results. it's still a little anxious, I think. Everyone still has election anxiety. Everyone is still dealing with COVID in their own ways, whether or not they've had it or not. So mental health, has, kind of affected a lot of different people in a lot of different ways. So for you, what does mental health mean to you? What do you want people to know about mental health? And how do you think this year overall has affected everyone's mental health as a whole?
So mental health is something that's super close to me, something I'm super passionate about. As someone that has suffered with depression and anxiety in the past, it's always prevalent. And when things like election season or just like even a shift in the weather comes up, like it's not always good for your mental health. And so as soon as during the summer, this past summer, when all of the murders started happening with George Floyd and Ahmaud Arbery and Breonna Taylor and things like that, I immediately reached out to Auburn Student Council Psychological Services, beginning therapy every now and then, so that I kind of realized how important it is to get therapy during that time and to realize that you need help and ask people for that help. But I think that mental health right now is something that should be on the forefront and the focus of all students, especially with freshmen coming in. They were already trying to adapt to new things, to new environments, and them having to deal with something that has never been as intense or as anxiety driving as the election season in the midst of a global pandemic. And so I think that mental health is just it's an important conversation, but I think that one of the biggest things that people need to do is kind of be honest with themselves about where their mental health lies during this time, because I think sometimes it's easy for us to put on a mask or to put on some type of front, but I think the only way that we can succeed right now is to realize that we're all struggling and we're all struggling together, and the only way that we move on is to acknowledge that struggle and kind of look at ways that we can navigate that. And so just trying to make sure that people are open and honest about their mental health, but also realizing that this is like everyone's struggling just in different ways.
This year, we saw a record amount of voter turnout. We have people voting who are, first-time voters, 18 years old, 19, 20-year-olds, to 65-year-olds and older, who decided that this is an election that is way too important to miss out on. So they decided to make their voice heard, either by mail-in, absentee, early voting, or on the day of the election. So how did you vote, if you voted this year, and what does that record number of voter turnout mean to you?
So I'll start with how I voted. I voted at the Lee County Courthouse on Thursday. So I waited 4.5 hours in line, which is dramatic compared to some of the people who voted in 35 minutes or less, which that's a conversation for a different day. But I voted on Thursday, voted a little early. They were out of I voted stickers, and so I was a little upset about that, but can't really do anything about it. But all in all, one of the biggest things that I think about when it comes to voter turnout is that more people have voted for Joe Biden than have ever voted for any candidate in history. And that just doesn't really even matter when it comes to our election system. And so I think it has showed and exemplified discrepancies in our election system, and that when more people can vote for a candidate than has ever voted before, and it literally means nothing, like absolutely nothing, I think that we have to kind of reflect on what that means for our nation, what that means for our electoral college, if there's anything that we can shift or change within it. But it also gives me a lot of hope to know that so many young people have gotten out and voted. So many old people have gotten out and voted. So many people that are middle-aged have gotten out and voted. And so people are really taking a hand and really taking the initiative when it comes to democracy. And so that's good to see, especially as a political science major. I also, like, one of the biggest things that made me happy is my mom voted for the first time in presidential election this year, because she saw how important it was to me and to people that looked like me and felt like me.
Wow,
so,
nice.
So just seeing things like that and that experience and the joy that I felt, I've been feeling that an overwhelming amount with so many votes, but it's just making sure that those votes count and that those votes really do make the difference that they're intended to.
And was this your first time voting, or had you voted in other elections before this?
So I voted in the special election, I believe it was in 2018, when it was between Doug Jones and Roy Moore. And so this was my first time voting for a presidential candidate, but I voted before, and it was definitely a completely different experience than I did previously, voting on amendments and voting on people in my county that I've never even heard of. And so it was a shift, but one that I enjoyed.
So at the beginning of the interview, I introduced you and I mentioned a couple of different things that you're involved in. And by a couple, I mean a lot. You're involved in the Black Student Union, like I said. You're an honors college ambassador. You're a student involvement ambassador. You're a first-year experience head counselor. You're involved in SGA. All these things are, great on a resume and everything. But how do you deal with that in your personal life? How do you make time for each extracurricular activity? How do you commit, a certain amount of time to each one? Or is there one that you have more time commitment to, Or how do you kind of just deal with having all these responsibilities and being involved with so many things?
Yeah, so one of the biggest things that I tell people all the time when they ask me this question is that there's no position that I hold that I do things alone. And so whether it's my team within SGA or my team within BSU or people in student involvement that can cover my hours or other head counselors that are absolutely amazing or people in Honors College that can help me out, everything that I do is with people as well as for people. And so there's never things that I'm doing by myself. That's one. And two, whenever I try to do things for people, I try not to do things without them. And so with BSU, there's nothing that I do that doesn't include Black students. With SGA, I try not to make any moves that I don't talk to students or my friends or anyone first. And so it's just making sure that team aspect, there's nothing that I can do alone in those regards. But also when it comes to me, it's some days where I have to say, okay, when I go home, it's like a 9 to 5 job. When 5 o'clock hits, I'm done with whatever I need to do. I might eat some ice cream. The other day, I ate some ice cream and watched Princess and the Frog. Sometimes I have to do that. I try to wake up early in the morning. Go on some runs. I've been running a lot. Do I enjoy it? No. Will it continue? Probably not. But for the time being, it was a good idea. But honestly, just doing simple things like that. I've been cooking more. Is it good? No. Would I let anyone else eat it? Probably not. But it's the sentiment. It's the sentiment, it's the thought. But just doing things that make me happy. I love to read. I read literally any and everything. And so just make sure I take the time out to do those things for myself and kind of treat myself in those regards, because at the end of the day, regardless of how I serve Auburn in all capacities, I'm still here to be a student. The first word in student leader is student, and so I got to make sure that always comes first. But the second one is also leader, and so I have to make sure I'm doing things and leading by example in everything that I do. And so trying to make sure I focus on me while focusing on my team and never forgetting the people that I do it for is just kind of what keeps me grounded, keeps me to the core.
So I really like what you said about student leader and how student comes before leader, always making sure that you prioritize your studies and making sure you remain, like you said, as a student first and foremost, I think is really, really good advice.
Yeah. And I kind of just want to add too. So a couple weeks ago, we had a orientation for camp counselors that wanted to do it the next year. And over that orientation, a bunch of the head counselors got to share kind of things that were passionate to them, things that they liked, things that they loved, and kind of what made their experience. And so one of my best friends, another head counselor, James Dewar, he got up and he was talking about his personal experience. And he was talking about how he came in to Campbell Eagle so nervous, so scared, so afraid. And there was this one person that kind of calmed them down and made them feel safe. And at the end, he goes, this person standing right next to me, he's my best friend, Tyler. And he was like, one thing that I realized is that Tyler Ward may not have been that special friend to someone else, but everyone had a special Tyler Ward. And so, of course, I'm crying, blah, 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 blah. But one thing that kind of stuck with me and one thing that I wanted to make sure that I remembered as a leader is that my job is never to make the second Tyler Ward. My job is to never open doors just for other people to say, oh, Tyler Ward opened this door for me. My job is to open doors and then give people the keys and the resources to open the doors for themselves. And so, like, whenever, like, I do try to talk about, like, things that make me feel safe or make me feel better, people might not be able to do all the organizations that I did, or people may be able to do all the organizations that I did and more. And so, like, a lot of it is just adapting what you want to do to who you are as a person, whether that's the organizations you're involved in, the positions that you hold. And so I want to make sure that every time that I kind of speak about my leadership skills or my leadership qualities or what I want to do as a leader, that people know that it's always to enable other leaders to be themselves and never to make people be a second me, if that makes sense.
Yes, I love that. And I guess kind of to tie all of this back together, when you meet someone new, when you meet a new either freshman or a new transfer student or anybody who's coming to Auburn, kind of looking for ways to get involved, kind of like you, but in their own way, like you've said, making their own way and kind of finding out who they are and creating their own Auburn experience, what would be your, I guess, greatest piece of advice to students looking to get involved, but not necessarily knowing how? Maybe they don't want to jump into SGA, something that's so big, but they want to do something a little bit bigger than, one of the smaller groups on campus. So what's the greatest piece of advice that you would give to someone wanting to get involved at Auburn?
I would tell them to follow your childlike spirit. And like what I mean by that is like children do whatever they want to do, whenever they want to do it, whenever it makes them happy. And so today, if they feel like they want some chocolate, they're going to go and they're going to ask their mama for some chocolate. Or I remember I used to play baseball when I was little. I was awful. I was probably the worst baseball player to ever hold a bat. But because it made me happy, I did it for so long. And so what I would tell people that are coming in is like, you know what makes you happy. You know what brings you joy. And it might not be something as big as SGA. It might be doing something like Campus Kitchen, where you literally just take people where you just take leftover food and give it to people, or it might be AUDM, where you literally get to dance while also doing things for kids and for kids that are either disabled or that have disabilities, things like that. Or it could be getting involved in the Eagles program to work with people for disabilities. And so just take whatever makes you happy and whatever gives you joy, however simple or profound that may be. Follow your childlike spirit and just do that. Your freshman year, just do whatever makes you feel happy and safe, and then you can grow and you can branch out after that. But if you start where you feel comfortable and where you feel safe, you'll be able to go out and kind of be uncomfortable in the best ways, and kind of chase the things that may be harder, but are also things that make you happy and bring you joy.
Thank you so much, Tyler. This was such a good interview. I really, really appreciate, all of your insightfulness and all your very wise words. I think this is all such good advice and information that people can use both here at Auburn and for the rest of their life. I think a lot of the things that you said were so profound, like you said, even though you didn't mean them to be, it was in the best way. So thank you so much, Tyler, for taking the time to sit down with us. And we look forward to meeting you and talking to you later, kind of when we can be in person, not on Zoom, but this will have to do for now.
Yeah, I think this group and this organization is such a good initiative. I tell people all the time, you may never be able to walk in someone's footsteps, but you may never be able to walk in someone's shoes, but you can always look at their footsteps. And so I think that interviews like this are such a good way to show people's footsteps, where they've been, where they're going, where they are, so that you can just learn someone better. That's how we grow as an Auburn family, but also just how we grow as people in general. So I appreciate y'all.
Yes, sir. War Eagle, Tyler.
Very good, Samantha.
There was an old woman who lived in a shoe. She had so many children, she didn't know what to do. She gave them some broth without any bread and kissed them all soundly.
Lights out.
Good night. And put them to bed. Hunger is a story we can end. End it at feedingamerica.org.
I was living in a shelter juggling 3 jobs. I had to be resilient. That's something that you can't teach.
Welcome back to Tigers Talk. This part of our show is called Say What, and this is the part where we allow our audience to be a part of the show. Our question of the week is, what has 2020 taught you thus far? We had several responses, including our first one coming from DC Destiny on Instagram, and she said that online class is better than going to class. My schedule is not so packed and busy. And I kind of have to agree, Christopher. I think, yes, online classes have been a big adjustment, but at the same time, whether or not, you've gone from a super packed schedule to a super packed online schedule, it has given people a little bit more free time, which normally wouldn't happen.
It's interesting how this comment is very interesting, because the first episode we asked if people preferred Zoom classes or in-person classes, and most people said they never liked the Zoom classes. So to hear somebody say the opposite this week, it's quite interesting, and I can see what she is talking about when she says that she has more free time in her schedule and all that, because most of the times I lay around at home not doing much after I'm done with classes. So there is some free time. You just got to know how to manage those time and get through to that. And our second response comes from Camille Joyce on Instagram, and she says how to be patient, how to be prayerful, how to trust the process, working together as a team. And I totally can relate to this one. I remember in quarantine time when people that have ghosted us for a long time started texting us, and I also did it too. Like, I ghosted some people and I'm still waiting for the text. I'm still waiting for them to reply. Hey Tiffany, I'm waiting for you to reply to my message. Tiffany. Okay. Yeah, so like even being prayerful and being patient, like we had to be patient with this year. So many unexpected, unforeseen things happened this year, and we just learned how to be patient.
Exactly.
You agree?
I do. And like she said, I think, we need a team. That's who we are. Even at the end of the day, when we all have our differences sometimes, we're all human. And this year hit hard, I think, for most of us. So everyone needs a team now and then, and that team is each other. So yes, I agree. Camille Joyce, I'm with you. And our third response comes from Instagram as well, and it comes from Tasha Janae _, and she says, patience and self-care is essential to growth. And Christopher, again, like all these other comments, completely agree. I think patience has been the key word for me, especially for my 2020, having a lot of things being canceled last minute, not knowing what's going to happen, all that uncertainty. Patience is key to knowing, okay, you know what, taking it day by day is the key to everything.
Tasha Janae, I am going to steal this quote. I'm going to write it down in my notes, and I'm going to live by this quote because, I really like this. Patience and self-care. I love this quote, Tasha. I love this quote so much. I'm going to really put this down. Patience and self-care. Oh my God, you hit the nail on the head when you say self-care, because many times we think about patience and waiting, but we don't really stop to learn much about ourselves. And I can tell you this year, for example, when we were in quarantine, I discovered so many skills I didn't know that I had, and I learned so much about myself. So this is really what this year has taught me too. I totally agree with you.
Yes, self-care for the win. Thank you so much for responding this week. We really appreciate it.
It's so sad, guys. We've come to the end of the show, but don't worry about that. We had so much fun. I hope you really enjoyed it. We'll be back next week. Samantha, are you excited? Can you believe that we're done with episode 2?
I can't believe we're done with episode 2, but you know what? I think it was a really great way to close it. Thank you so much for your responses. Again, we really appreciate it. It's a big part of our show. And if you want to be a part of our response and our question of the week next week, make sure you follow us on Instagram at AU Tigers Talk Show and on our Twitter at AU Tigers Talk.
It's always a pleasure being with you. Tigers Talk signing out. See you soon.
All right, so welcome. Thank you all for coming. So this is QPR, this is suicide prevention training. And so I just want to throw out some ground rules before we get started. This is a safe space. There's usually always one or more people who have been affected by suicide in some type of way. So if someone comments or says something, let's just make sure that we're respectful of what somebody says and of someone's experience, because you never know how this may have affected people. And I also, in that same vein, want you all to feel very comfortable to speak and to talk and to ask questions. There are no stupid questions. So if you have questions, please ask questions. This is a subject that people don't ask questions about, right? And something that we need to talk about and remove that stigma from this. So if you have questions, please feel free to ask any questions that you guys have. So to get started, we're gonna have you guys take a little pre-survey for us. So with your phone, you can use your camera. If you have an iPhone, if you have an Android phone, you probably will need to use Snapchat or to use a QR code reader. And as you do that, it should pull up a quick survey that I'm going to have you guys fill out for me, and we'll also do a post survey. So I'll give you a few minutes to do that. All right, looks like everybody's almost finished. All right, so let me introduce myself. My name is Stephanie Morauer. I'm an academic advisor on campus in the Harvard College of Business. And so I've been doing these trainings for about 3 or 4 years now. Suicide prevention is something that I'm really passionate about because it is a really big problem that we have. And so hopefully you all will learn something today that will really help you to save a life. So, what are we going to learn today? So basically, we're going to understand how suicide impacts our society. You're going to get some tips on some warning signs and things that you need to kind of look out for so that you can recognize if someone has a need. Some just increased knowledge of some intervention skills that you can use if you see these warning signs. And then referral resources, right? Because we are not counselors, right? This is not supposed to be a training where you're a counselor and you give out medicine and all of that, right? So this is just to help you with basic warning signs, basic interventions, and then you can be able to refer that someone for further help. So that's what we're going to be doing today. So we're going to start with a video. This video is from NC State. This video, it has 3 students in it who attempted suicide and survived, and so it's kind of their stories. It is an intense video, so I will throw that out there. And it is okay to have feelings and have reactions to this video. I will ask what your feelings and your reactions are after it's over. Sorry. Just trying to make it bigger, but.
I didn't want there to be a note. I didn't want there to be anything. I just wanted to be done. There was nothing to say in a note. I didn't hate anything that anybody had done. I didn't blame anybody. There was just do it or don't do it.
I seemed fine, but I wasn't every single day. I mean, I felt like I was numb and like a little bit like that empty feeling on the inside. But people don't see that. They're not really looking for it. They want the drama that comes with it, but they don't want the actual problems to fix.
I felt broken, hopeless, like I was never going to escape the pain of all of the things that had happened to me. It was hard to feel like you're not in control of your mind, that you're fighting this battle and trying to develop who you are as a person when you can't even be bothered to get out of bed in the mornings or eat a meal. It's hard.
When I didn't have anything to do, it'd just be me not going to school. By the time I left the house, opening my mouth for the first time, my jaw was cracking and clicking because I hadn't actually said anything over the course of a week. I didn't feel like anybody was even there to experience that or would understand it.
At the time, I had a lot of struggles with family, with my mom. I was pushing a lot of my good friends away, and I wasn't paying attention to who I was talking to, what I was doing to myself.
I had been dealing with bipolar disorder, undiagnosed at that point, and just feeling remarkably alone.
I was sexually assaulted in my undergraduate studies, So that combined with my anxiety and my severe clinical depression that I've been battling for I don't even know how many years, everything just kind of came to a head.
I found myself drowning, like completely drowning.
Everything from that week is just, the roar is like this roar of wind. It's this roar of complete chaos.
It would just be easier just to sleep and not wake up, not get in another fight with my mom and disappoint her, not give another reason to tell myself, oh, your dad doesn't call because of this.
I just started having this panic attack after a fight with the girl that I was dating, which turned into me sitting in the shower with a knife for like 4 hours.
I was here on campus. I was in the bathrooms having a complete meltdown, and I grabbed my X-Acto knife out of my backpack and I put it to my wrist and
One of my friends actually bought the stuff for me that I OD'd on and was actually pushing that it might actually be a good thing. I was rushed to the hospital and I was pretty dead. I was pretty gone. If it had been 5 minutes later or whatnot, I probably wouldn't be here.
just as I was about to do it, someone knocked on the star door and asked me, "Are you all right?" I paused for a second, knife in my hand. No, I'm not fine. And that was the first time I had really allowed myself to admit that I was not keeping it together.
The next step was, turn off the shower, and I literally jumped as far into the covers as I could because I was freezing cold at this point. And more than anything else, I was just thinking about my parents and my brother, and actually my dog, and how much I would miss them, and that I just didn't want to be without them. And I didn't want to do that to them.
I just wanted someone to realize that I needed help, that I needed someone to talk to.
The fear of disappointing the people that you hold in high regard is really just a huge weight that hangs over your head all the time, and you're worried that if you tell them how you feel, that they'll see all of this ugliness, this darkness, and this weakness inside you.
It's not easy just to come up to someone and say, I want to kill myself, I want to die, I'm done with everything.
Actually understanding that somebody wants to kill themselves is a completely different, alien thing for a lot of people, and it's terrifying. It doesn't make sense.
I sat down for a couple months with a therapist and my mom, and I started, saying things in the way that I needed to say it.
And it was the first time that I had been able to separate myself from the things that were afflicting me.
Everything involves change of lifestyle, which is hard, and it's hard to adapt to, but it's necessary.
My mom, what would happen to her? And my friends who have put time and effort into our friendships, what it would do to them, it just rips people apart and it doesn't help the community.
You're not broken. You might be cracked and scuffed and scarred, but you are never broken.
Your experience, as terrible as it is, has been gone through. You can work through it, and that there are other people who will help you work through it.
The point is to, live, to create happy memories, is to affect people around you.
The things that you hate about yourself now will someday be things that you overcome and that make you a stronger person.
Those who love me give me hope.
Don't give up. Fight. Fight as hard as you can.
I am strong. I'm worth it. I think everyone else around me is worth it too, but you have to start with yourself.
By not addressing the issues young men and women are facing, we're essentially putting them in a different room and not offering them the support and the help that we should be. So that's why we have to talk about this.
All right. So, thoughts, reactions. It's okay to talk. It's okay to share. What are y'all thinking about that? What are you feeling about that? Open space, safe space. Any thoughts? Anybody? Yeah.
I think it's pretty eye-opening to see from someone's perspective who's felt that way before.
Mhm.
It's pretty like unique because I haven't come in contact with that, so it's cool to see it. Not cool, but like interesting to see it.
Yeah, for sure. Because you probably, I mean, I know I've always wondered, like, how do you get to that point? Like, what, you know, like what's going on? And so that is a very interesting perspective because you usually hear about it or you just know someone and they're gone and you're just like, oh my gosh, like what happened? And so that really makes it real, right? Yeah.
One person in particular that stood out with me, I believe her name was Bracia.
Mhm.
And when she said that she had been sexually assaulted and she was dealing with clinical depression, severe clinical depression on top of being a student, like it makes me think about like walking on the concourse every single day and like walking past like all different people that we might not ever see again or just not come in contact with. And like I might be having a rough day if I have like a test or something, but just knowing that people like her that have dealt with things way more severe than that and are dealing with it by themselves it's just really sad.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you for sharing that. Any other thoughts, reactions?
I think it was,
Yeah,
sorry,
no.
I think it was different to see how they, with the exception of Claudia, like had their moment where they realized like this is not okay. Like
Right.
he was in the shower and just kind of decided like what was worthwhile to hold on to, and then she kind of had like a self-realization moment when somebody asked like, "Are you okay?"
Right.
And then like they kind of, I don't know, had their own turnaround.
Right. Yeah, for him, he, thought about people that he loved and his dog. And then for her, what if that person had knocked on the door? Like what if they hadn't showed up? And all they said was, "Are you all right?" That's all they said. And that stopped her, right? Because that made her think, okay, well, clearly I'm not all right because I have a knife right now. So just that was an intervention. Just that person knocking on the door and saying, "Are you all right?" was an intervention and stopped her. And so that's what we're going to learn today, is to see those warning signs from people, and then how we could just do something simple by just asking one question and having that intervention and hopefully saving somebody's life. So thank you all for sharing your reactions. So next we're going to kind of talk about some facts. So these are all United States facts from 2017. So these are facts of people who have all the suicides that have happened. So there was 47,000 deaths about in the United States in 2017. So these are the newest stats that we have because it takes a while for them to get all the stats from all of the United States. So that's a lot. So that's about one death every 12 minutes by suicide, and Alabama is 24th in states ranking for suicide deaths. So about 788 deaths in Alabama during 2017. Does that number surprise you? 47,000? It's kind of a lot, right? It's a pretty big number. So from homicide was 17,000. From suicide was 47,000. Would you guys would have thought that suicide would be more than homicide? I know I wouldn't have thought that. And every year, the suicide number, every year we get these numbers, is significantly more than homicide. So suicide is a preventable death, right? Because no one's taking your life, you're taking your own life. So it's definitely something that's preventable. So hopefully the more training everyone has, that will help. So the method in 2017, we've got about 50% by a firearm, 13% poisoning, 27% suffocation, which suffocation could include like hanging, any of those methods, and then other ways, 7.8%. A few years ago, one of my advisees drove to Tumor's Corner and put a gun to his head and shot himself. That's not my only experience with suicide, but that's just one of them. I had only met with him a couple times because he transferred into the College of Business from another major on campus. And so when I met with him, there really wasn't any warning signs because I didn't really know him that well yet. And he didn't really show any warning signs to his parents or to his friends either. And sometimes that's how it is. So we will save as many people as we can save, but there may be some people who just don't show us any signs, and if they decide that they're going to do that, then they're going to do that, and there's not anything we can do about that. But just to make it real for you, you know, we talk about the United States stats and the Alabama stats. It happened at Auburn. It happened at Tumor's Corner not very long ago. So just so that you guys know that this is real and it is happening. I don't know if you guys have heard, there's a report that just came out that said the number in Lee County of suicides has risen in the last year, and that the coroner is actually very concerned by the amount of suicide deaths in Lee County. So it's very real. It's right here where we are. So I just wanted to kind of highlight that a little bit. So for young people in college, so we have about 5,000 young people between the ages of 15 to 24 who die by suicide each year. It is the second leading cause of death among college students. The second. So I think the first is like car accidents, which makes sense, driving too fast, right? Not paying attention. And the second is suicide. Does that surprise you all? That that's the second leading cause for college students? Yeah, it's pretty scary. But for every single person that actually dies from suicide, there was 25 attempts made. So when someone is successful with completing suicide, they probably tried it many times before it was successful. So 67% of college students first tell a friend that they're considering suicide, and that stats from Active Minds, which is a student organization on campus. So people are telling people are asking for help. And so we have this training so that if you're the person they're asking for help, that you can help them and maybe be that intervention for them, like for Basha in the video. So someone who is left behind, we call a loss survivor. So for the amount of people, so there's over 1 million Americans per year that are loss survivors. So these are all the people that are left behind after someone takes their own life. So I gave you guys a sheet, and on one side it looks like this, and it's called the mini path to suicide. And so let's just kind of try to understand how it gets to this point, like how the people in the video kind of helped us. So you have fundamental risk factors. You have things about yourself, you have things that have happened in your life that you cannot change, right? Your sex, your race, your age, you can't change that. Like you are, how old you are, that's it. I mean, there's nothing that you can do about that. And then there's personal or psychological things that affect you that you can't do anything, like maybe there was some type of an abuse, or maybe there was a loss of a parent, or maybe there were drugs or things that happened to you over the course of your life. Your values, your religious beliefs, all of that shapes who you are. So those are all part of your character and who you are, not necessarily things you can change. Your environment. You're in Auburn, Alabama. So unless you transfer to another school or you decide to go work at another school, this is your environment, and it's probably not going to change for a little while, right? Luckily, you're in a really nice environment, right? Auburn is a nice place. It's a beautiful place. Not all college campuses are in nice, beautiful, geographically beautiful places. So all of those are things that you can't change. Then you have triggers or like final straws, right? So something happens, like an illness or maybe even something like failing a test. I mean, that can be something huge for someone. Maybe failing that test means you don't get into nursing school, and that's been your dream for your whole life, right? That would be something really monumental for someone. Or you have a major loss in your family or something. And so let's say we are, male and we're young and we were abused as a child, and we're at a school in the middle of nowhere, and we don't have a lot of friends, and it snows most of the year, and it's cold, and then on top of all of that, something happens, like we get expelled or we lose a job, and all these things keep happening. That can be the final straw. So you already feel like you've struggled in your life already. You already feel like you're not on par with everyone else. And then all this stuff keeps happening to you. That can be your final straw, right? So that is going to increase the hopelessness that you feel that you can overcome all of these challenges and all of these obstacles, which then gets us to the wall of resistance, which I'm going to skip for just a second, but pretend like that's not there. And then we get over to cause of death, right? Where now we are, we're done, and so we're going to use one of these methods for suicide. So if you turn this over on the back, this is the wall of resistance. So the wall of resistance is right here. That is what's going to stop you. So we're already feeling all this hopelessness from our fundamental risk factors and our proximal risk factors, our final straws. And so we're just so hopeless. How are we going to get through this? Our wall of resistance is what's going to stop us from getting over to the death. Okay? So what is the wall of resistance? So the wall of resistance is the wall of resistance is why is it not going to the next one? Sorry. There we go. Is your support system. So like the guy in the video, he said he remembered his family, right? And he remembered his dog. Those are everybody in his wall. Those people, remembering those people in that moment and his dog and thinking about how much he loved them and how much he would miss them, that is what stopped him. That was his wall of resistance. That stopped him from going over to death, right? Because he immediately jumped out of that tub and got warm. So everybody has a wall. Everybody has something in your wall. Maybe your parents are in your wall. Maybe your spouse is in your wall. Maybe your boyfriend or your girlfriend, your best friend, your dog, your religion, your values. There's lots of things that make up your wall. Who can tell me some things that are in your wall? Things that are important to you, that are at the core of your life, that keep you moving, keep you alive, keep you going every day.
Family.
Your family? Good. What else? Friends? Religion? Other things in your wall that you can think of? Things that keep you grounded when you're having a really, really tough day. What's the first thing you think of, or the first person you think of when you're having a really, really tough day? And you're just like, oh my gosh, I gotta get through this day. This is the worst day ever. What are some things that you guys do or you think about?
Just physical hobbies.
Yeah.
Playing golf or something like that.
Yeah, physical hobby. Yeah, exactly. So there's something that you do. There's someone you talk to or someone you reach out to or something you go do and you're like, okay, I'm gonna go play golf because that's the only thing that's gonna make me happy right now because this is the worst day ever, right? And then you're like, okay, that was good. It's all right. Life is okay. I'll get through this. It was a bad day. Tomorrow will be better, right? So all of those things are in your wall. So when someone gets to the hopelessness part, that's where we come in to try to remind them that you have things in your wall. You have things in your wall. You have people in your wall. You have dreams in your wall. You have ambitions in your wall. And if you're not here, if you die, then you don't get to do those things. You don't get to be here with those people. You don't get to go play golf, right? Because you're not here. So that is what we're doing when we're intervening, is we're reminding people that, yeah, you have a reason to be here. You're valuable. You're worth something. You should be here, and I want you to be here. So that's what the wall of resistance is. Does that make sense to everyone? Does anyone have a question about the many paths or the wall? Okay. So this is the lethal triad, which just basically means if there's an upset person and they are given a firearm or they are giving alcohol or drugs, that it's going to be more likely that they commit suicide, right? And I shouldn't say commit. That is not the right word that we should say. That they take their own life. So for example, the lady in the video, her friend gave her the drugs. So she may not have even had access to those drugs, or she may not have even known where to get them from, and her friend gave them to her. So therefore she used them, right? And she almost died. So that's just what that is talking about. And here's my slide where I just use the word I'm not supposed to use. So we should not use commit suicide. We should use die by suicide or take your own life. So just so that you guys know kind of some language that we should use. So this is talking about the Golden Gate Bridge. So the Golden Gate Bridge is very high and very long, and lots of people go there to try to take their own life, because if you fall from that, you're probably not going to survive, more than likely, right? So that's just kind of a guaranteed place that you can go if you're thinking about suicide. And so there were 515 would-be people who would have jumped between 1937 and 1971, but police officers that were like patrolling the area stopped and got out of their car and just talked to the person. And then those people did not jump. So that was just a police officer intervening. Just like that police officer, we can do the same thing. The police officer is not a clinical mental health professional, right? They're just a police officer. They just got out and they talked to the person. We can do the same thing. They just did a simple intervention. And so a clinical psychologist said of these people that they were having an acute temporary crisis. They passed through it, and coming out on the other side, they got on with their lives. So a lot of times when we have this final straw, this crisis, we're not thinking clearly, right? We're not thinking straight. We're just thinking, this is so painful. This is so terrible. There's no way out of this. My only solution is just to die. But if they have someone there to say, hey, this is just what's going on in your life right now. This is just a storm. This is just a challenge you're going through right now. You will get through this. I will help you get through this. Then they can come out on the other side of it, right? But in that moment, if there's not someone there to intervene, or they don't remember their wall, then they're going to be gone. And so this was people, just pictures of people talking to people. And basically what they were saying is that they interviewed these people who actually ended up not jumping. And they were like, what's going on? Why are you wanting to jump? And the people were basically saying, I didn't want to actually die. I just wanted the pain to end. Like, I just was in so much pain, I could not see any other way out. I didn't actually want to die. So for people who are dealing with this, they're not actually wanting to die. They just don't see any other solution to get rid of their pain or to work through their crisis situation. All right, so like I said earlier, QPR is, we're not clinical psychologists, we're not counselors, we're not mental health professionals. This training is not to make you into any of those things. Obviously, people go to school and go to years and years of training for all of that. This is just to help you be that police officer, to be that girl that knocked on the bathroom door and said, are you okay? Just a simple intervention to help somebody. So, this video is going to just tell you all a little bit more about QPR. if it will load. You know you want to.
Research shows that the odds of surviving a heart attack in a public place are 10 times greater in regions where thousands of ordinary citizens are trained in CPR. It's called bystander rescue. When someone shows signs of experiencing cardiac arrest, the response of nearby friends, family, or coworkers is critical. The effective use of CPR doubles or triples one's chances of surviving a heart attack. Like CPR, QPR is an emergency intervention for someone experiencing a life-threatening crisis. QPR is easy to learn and easy to remember, but it takes courage to overcome our fears about reaching out to help someone who may be considering suicide. Research also shows that where QPR is widely taught, suicide attempts and deaths decrease. Just like CPR, QPR requires quick, bold, and informed action. Because suicide, like heart attacks, remains a rare event, we must train hundreds to save one, thousands to save hundreds, and millions to save thousands. There is an old Welsh saying, "No great misery goes unspoken." When we have a toothache, we tell people. We don't hide our pain. But because of the stigma and taboo around the word suicide, many people considering suicide don't speak plainly about their suffering. They fear our rejection. They fear that if they say something, we will ridicule them or make fun of them. As a result, people thinking about suicide often use indirect language. They hint at what they're thinking of doing. They send us coded messages, and they suffer in silence. Called suicide warning signs, QPR training teaches you how to recognize these warning signs, quickly decode them, and then question the person in an informed and compassionate manner to learn if they are considering suicide. Just as talking about physical pain helps diminish it, talking about suicide with someone willing and able to listen reduces psychological pain almost immediately. Trained QPR gatekeepers are merchants of hope, and hope helps prevent suicide. Millions of people have now been trained in QPR. Rigorous independent research studies support QPR as effective, and thousands of personal stories assure us that QPR is saving lives. When you use QPR, not everyone will be suicidal. Some people are simply stressed to the breaking point, but they still need help. Help you can give. Please note that you cannot put the idea of suicide into someone's mind. People are either thinking about suicide or they're not. The fear of putting the idea of suicide into someone's head is a myth that keeps us from acting when we should do just the opposite. QPR is a universal intervention for people in pain, whether they're thinking about suicide or not. While it takes a special courage to overcome our fears, we will teach you how to ask about suicide and to offer hope through listening. Listening is the power tool that restores hope in the hopeless. We know you can do this, and we will show you how. Preventing suicide. It's what people do.
So that's just a little bit about it so that you guys kind of understand a little bit. And I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on the myths and the facts, but basically, in a nutshell, people feel like, oh, if I talk about it with somebody, I'm going to be putting it in their head, or there's no way I could stop somebody. If they want to do it, they want to do it. And sometimes that's true, but that's not always true. So just know that all those things that you guys are kind of thinking about that you may have heard or you might think, it's not really true. You actually can do an intervention and help somebody. All right, so let's get to the warning signs so that you guys can see what we're talking about. So some warning signs. There are direct verbal cues where someone actually says, I want to kill myself. I want to take my own life. That would be a direct verbal cue, somebody telling you that. So that is a clear warning sign. If someone is telling you that, probably need to use QPR, right? If they're actually saying that they want to kill themselves or they want to be dead. There's also indirect cues like I want to go to sleep and never wake up, or I'm getting my affairs in order, or I'm not going to be around much longer, or anything like that. So these would all be indirect things. I'm just tired of life. I'm just tired of this. I can't do this anymore. I can't take this anymore. Those would be indirect verbal warning signs. And if you guys have any questions, feel free to stop me. So behavioral things would be someone's behavior changes, right? So, a sudden interest or disinterest in things that they've been interested in before, severe depression, just any behavior that just changes. And so you know somebody well, and you know how they generally are, and then they completely flip, and they're doing something different, and they're behaving differently, then that is going to be a clear warning sign. Other things, so if you're ever in doubt, don't wait to ask someone a question, and I'm going to go through that in a minute. What do you guys think when I say ask the question? So we've seen some of these warning signs, like maybe, their behavior changed, or maybe their hygiene changed. Like maybe they always look amazing, they always look so good, and then they're coming to class and they haven't showered in a few weeks. That's a warning sign. Something is probably going on with them. So what do you guys think the question is? That's the Q of QPR. What do you guys think the question is?
Are you okay?
Close. But yes, you could definitely start with that. But what do you guys think the question is?
Are you thinking about suicide?
Yeah. Are you thinking about suicide? Are you thinking about taking your own life? Do you want to die? Are you going to hurt yourself? Yeah, it's actually asking them if they want to take their own life. That is the question. So you could definitely start with, are you okay, right? Because it might be awkward to be like, hi, do you want to kill yourself, right? Especially if I don't know you and I just have noticed things about you, that might be a little awkward. Now, for best friends, that might not be awkward, right? I might be able to be like, are you serious? What is going on with you? Are you going to kill yourself? And that might be okay. That might be how we talk to each other. So gauge your relationship, right? With the person that you're talking to, because it might be a stranger. But yes, that is the question. So you can work up to that question, but you definitely need to ask that question if you're seeing any of these warning signs. That's the Q of QPR. So direct approach. When people are as upset as you seem to be, they sometimes wish they were dead. I'm wondering if you're feeling that way too. So that would be a way to ask, or are you thinking about killing yourself? So these are direct approaches to asking the question. Less direct, have you been unhappy lately? What's going on? Are you thinking that you might want to end your life? So you can kind of work up to it if you feel like you need to work up to it. Ways to not ask. You're not suicidal, are you? Why is this a bad way to ask? Why should I not say it like, yeah?
Because didn't they say in that video that you can't instill the thought of suicide in someone? So
True.
If you're asking them that, I mean, I know that was okay, that was not.
Yeah.
But you also, I don't know, just with them instilling something's wrong when maybe it isn't.
Right.
But you don't want them to give off the illusion that it actually is.
Yeah, that is part of it. The other part of it is you don't want to come off as judgmental, right? So this kind of sounds like I'm judging you, you're not suicidal, are you? What's wrong with you? Why are you suicidal? So we don't want to come off as we're judging them or that something's wrong with them for thinking this or for feeling this way, right? Because there's nothing wrong with them. And then the P in QPR is going to be to persuade them to live. How can we persuade them to live? So we ask the question and they're like, yes, I am thinking about taking my own life. How do we now persuade them to live and to stay here?
We talk to them about the things on the wall.
Exactly. This is when we show them their wall. So we asked them the question. They said, yep, I sure am. I'm thinking about it. Okay, well, who would be left behind if you did this? What would you miss if you did this? What are your goals? What are your dreams? You wouldn't be able to do any of that if you weren't here. So this is when we show them their wall. We talk to them about their wall. We're offering them hope to stay here, to stay alive. So that is the persuade and refer. So that's still persuade, sorry. Refer. So like I said before, and I've said this whole time, we're not clinical mental health professionals. And so we can only take it so far. So we show them their wall, we give them a little hope back, and we say, okay, you probably need to talk to someone about this. It seems like you're really going through a lot if you're feeling this way. So let me walk you to the student counseling services, or if it's your best friend, let's talk to your mom, or let's talk to your minister, or someone who they can talk to who can take it further than you can. And you can check on them, right? You can call them the next day and be like, hey, how's it going? How's your days going today? Were you able to talk to somebody? Just to let them know that you care and that you want them to be here, right? If there's nobody else, you want them to be here. You want them to stay alive, right? So you can keep in contact with them. You can keep offering that hope to them, and then making sure that they talk to someone who can really help them work through whatever it is that they're going through, so they can come out on the other side alive. That's what we want, right? So there's also helpful phone numbers, of course. If it's an emergency, always call 911. Don't try to QPR someone, okay? If they're bleeding and they've already cut themselves, okay, that's not the time to be like, okay, so are you thinking about killing yourself? Okay, let's not do that, right? Because this is an emergency situation now, so we're just gonna need to call 911. But things that you can refer them to, like I said a minute ago, student counseling services. There is a suicide prevention hotline. It is 24 hours a day. That is the phone number. The numbers, all these numbers are also in the booklets that you guys got when you signed in. If you didn't get one, we'll make sure you get one. So these are just places that you guys can refer them. Things you can say, I want you to live, I'm on your side, you're gonna get through this. Like I mentioned, you can get other people involved, like brothers, sisters, pastors, rabbis, physicians, family members, if you know these other people, to help get involved. And remember that since almost every effort to try to help someone with this comes with relief and a positive response, you should always try to help. You should always try to intervene. So QPR, question, ask them the question, are you thinking about taking your life? Persuade them to stay alive by showing them their wall and providing them with that hope, letting them know that you want them to be here, you want them to stay alive, and then referring them to get more help that is kind of beyond your scope to give to them. And then checking up on them and making sure that they're okay and that they are getting the help that they need. Any questions about the training? And then I'm just going to tell you guys a few other things, and we're going to do our post survey. Any questions? Okay, so there is a new committee on campus called the Sound Mind Committee, which is focusing on mental health, and they're going to have a self-care fair that's going to be on the concourse on October 15th and 16th. So spread the word about that, tell other people. Self-care is important, right? Because you guys are dealing with a lot of stuff, tests and teaching and your work and all the stuff that you have to deal with. So sometimes we don't take care of ourselves, right? Because we're just running around trying to get everything done. And so that's important to our mental health. So they're going to have that self-care fair on the concourse October 15th and 16th. So I encourage you guys to go and take your friends, take other staff members with you. So I wanted to mention that. And then tomorrow, Health, Wellness, and Promotion Services is going to be hosting the Auburn Family Table and Village Dining at 6 p.m. This is going to be where everybody comes to eat. You put your phones in the middle of the table, you unplug for a minute so that you can actually talk to people, right? We're always in our phones, we're on social media, and we don't actually sit down and have a conversation face to face anymore. So this is going to be a place where people can come together, faculty, students, staff, everybody, and have a conversation. So that's tomorrow at 6 p.m. in Village Dining. And this is your post survey. So if you guys could take out your phones one more time and complete the post survey. Thank you for coming to the training today. If you didn't get a booklet, let me know and I'll make sure you get one.